Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
Ain't no forgiveness in you. It's never enough. Tell me something. How many of you would come and sit down and apologize to us for the transatlantic slave trade? You come now. Bring your wife and your children and tell us you're sorry for killing us, raping us, castrating us, and enslaving us, and making us chattel. Will you come and apologize? Our people can be like you. It ain't enough. See? If we tell you when you apologize it's not enough, oh, you trying to pimp us and hustle. No, reparation ain't pimping. Reparation is what we deserve.
Yes, it's me again. I'm back. What's up? Peace, power, deliver, family. Black Alpha Network on the tap in. It feels so good to be back where I belong. Hey, I promise y'all, no matter what's going on in my life, no matter what's happening, no matter what's occurring, being right here doing the AlphaCast, chopping it up with the chat, chopping it up with the family, being in amongst so many beautiful foundational Black Americans, going live, being at the Reparations rally, every single thing that has something to do with us, our lineage, our heritage, and our culture is what makes me the most happy, puts the biggest smile on my face. So right now, y'all know I'm smiling because I'm tapping in with my foundational Black American certified freedmen. What's really good? How y'all living? I hope everybody's doing good. I hope your family's in good health, man. I hope you just got that bop. I hope you got that step. And I hope you got that shine. So many things going on in this world. And there's nothing better than leaning on your brother and sister because we are all we got. But everything we do is exceptional. Let me say this, though. After coming back from the Reparations rally, and I send a salute to everybody that was there, it was such a beautiful, beautiful thing. That was one of the times in my life I never wanted the day to end. I did not want the day to end. I could have went for hours. That was a 24-hour day, man. I wish I could have got 72 hours out of that because that's how it felt. That's how special it was. Salute to our brother Tariq Nasheed for putting that together. Salute to all the speakers, all the organizers, everybody who showed up, people who flew in, people who caught buses, people who drove. I drove 9 hours straight. You feel me? Me and Queen Alpha, but it was such a beautiful, beautiful event. I mean that on everything. I'm talking about speechless. Speechless, like there's no words that could even describe what that was all about. It's beyond words. It's beyond syllables. It was just a magnificent event by a bunch of foundational Black American certified freedmen. And when you put that energy in that place at the same time, it is untouchable. I always say, y'all hear me say it. Hey, y'all hear me say it. Untouchable, unbreakable, unmatched, and stronger than ever. And that day we were untouchable, unbreakable, unmatched, and stronger than ever. And we are untouchable, unbreakable, unmatched, and stronger than ever right now. So salute to everybody. As I said, it was beautiful meeting everybody. I got stopped probably like 30, 40 times by so many people. I gave so many daps and hugs and, smiles and just from everybody. It was good to be there in the flesh. It was good to see everybody's face. It was good for everybody to match the voices with the face. I appreciate everybody. For everybody that I met personally, it means a lot to me. I got so many words of encouragement. So many people told me things that just kept me really motivated. People told me that they'll be having hard days sometimes and their life might not be on track, and then they'll listen, they'll tap into the Black Alpha Network and my AlphaCast, and the energy that I give just puts their life on the right order. One of the brothers I talked to told me he was fighting back tears speaking to me, and I told him I appreciate that. I respect that so much, and then I told him that he motivates me. And that type of energy being reciprocated fuels me. And I've said that since day one. The energy that the family gives me, I give back to the family. And that's why we lean on each other. That's the definition of leaning on each other. You feel me? If you give energy and somebody gives it back to you, that makes us all stronger. And as I always say, we are stronger together and stronger than ever. I mean, so much. How people was tapping me or pulling my shirt. I'm turning around. Hey, can I give you a hug? It was the most beautiful thing ever. Don't let nobody in your motherfucking life tell you that certified American freedmen, foundational Black Americans don't represent each other, don't love each other, don't rock with each other. That myth is over. That's done. I don't want to hear about that. We needs now to do better because we hate each other now. Fuck that. Think about it. A couple weeks ago, it started off with Black folks saying we needs to do better. because unfortunate situations happen with a couple rappers. And y'all know what happens. Anytime something unfortunate happens to any celebrity, black folks take that shit and apply it to the whole fucking community. That ain't the whole fucking community. That ain't the whole community. This community is filled with a bunch of loving, respectful, compassionate, understanding people who have each other's back through thick and thin, who ride for each other through thick and thin. It don't matter what the fuck goes down, we gonna always have each other's back. And anybody who does not tap into that inner circle, good. They on the outside looking in. We don't need them motherfuckers. It's all about who wants to be here. And I want to be here. And everybody I met at the Reparations rally want to be here. And when you get a bunch of people who want to be in the same place at the same time, and when you get a bunch of people who stand for the same exact thing, and they willing to put it all on the line, then you have us. And ain't nobody better than us, and all we got is us. So let's keep on beating these motherfuckers down with that real certified energy. You feel me? Let's go to work. Right now, we're gonna talk about these prepaid books. Yes. Y'all hear me all the time speak about certified black society. We speak about being certified. We talk about the differences between certified and counterfeit. We talk about the differences between the real ones and the fake ones. That's something that we make a point to always distinguish. We put that line in the sand about the folks who are on the real and the folks who are on the fake. And you have to do that because the number one thing that people want to do against us is deceive. So folks are running around here all day long and camouflage themselves like they really us. You know what I'm saying? Remember, anytime somebody starts off a conversation and says, as a black man, or as a black woman, or as a black person, that means they ain't really black. That means that they some counterfeits. And they're only using the term black as a weapon against other black people. Yes, they like to weaponize their blackness. Blackness for a lot of folks is like a fake ID. It gives motherfuckers access to places that they don't belong. It ain't about motherfucker being black on the outside or you black on the inside. What's your mind like? What's your soul like? We judge this shit based upon your soul. A motherfucker can be 14 shades darker than midnight and be the most cooning, tap dancing, butter biscuit, prepaid buck motherfucker you ever seen. You see it all the time. All skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? Ain't that what they say? So you got to be very cautious of these motherfuckers who like to use their skin as a weapon to get in. And once they get in, their main job is to infiltrate. That's why the dominant society, they send all these bucks in. They get on that phone, and y'all know that phone, and y'all know that motherfucking number that Zaddy likes to call. He likes to call 1-900-COON, and these motherfuckers pick up quick, fast, in a hurry. He likes to pull out his goddamn bank statements. He like to pull out a motherfucking blank check, write a goddamn Uncle Tom paycheck, and these motherfuckers start selling us out, throwing us under the bus. Dr. Claude Anderson says it all the time. You show me somebody who's willing to sell out black society, I'm gonna show you how much money these motherfuckers gonna make. It is a lucrative business to sell us out. That's why the onus is on us to separate the real from the fake. We don't call motherfuckers coon enough. I'm gonna say it like this. I heard motherfuckers saying, we need to quit calling names. Be very cautious of the person who doesn't want name calling. Let's be real. I'm gonna say it. I'm like, we're gonna put this shit on the line. Let's rock. Let's rock. We need to call motherfuckers coons. We need to call motherfuckers tap dancers. We need to call motherfuckers butter biscuits and counterfeits. We have to. Imagine the community if we didn't say those terms. Imagine. We got a hard enough time keeping these motherfuckers on the outside with those terms. Imagine if there was no coon and we didn't have anything to call the outliners. We didn't have anything to call the off-brand folks. A motherfucker went off code. You got folks out here saying, what is the code? They always want to make things very murky, very unclear, because being unclear is the number one weapon of a motherfucker who is off code. They want to make it look like we don't know what is. You feel me? This is the first thing they do. You ever been in a situation with somebody and something is evidently clear and then they just act like they don't understand it? A motherfucker playing stupid is their number one fucking tactic. If they can't play stupid, they don't know what it is. The dominant society's been playing stupid for 500 fucking years. You'll see some shit on camera and they be like, what? Who is that now? What, when, where, who, why, when, what? You feel me? That's the same thing these buck motherfuckers do. They come out, they act like they don't understand. Let's say this for real. The whole motherfucking world knows what anti-blackness is. The whole motherfucking world knows what racism is. The whole motherfucking world knows what supremacy is. And the whole motherfucking world knows what cooning is. And they don't want us to know what it is. They want us to be out here lost in the sauce. They want us out here have our head in the sand because that benefits them. Remember, it does not benefit the oppressor or the enemy for you to be intelligent. It only benefits them if you are ignorant. That's why there's this rush to keep us ignorant. That's why they try to always flood us with ignorant images. Never expect your oppressor to ever enlighten you, okay? Never. He will never enlighten you physically, mentally, spiritually. He will always try to keep you in the dark. If that means they gotta play stupid, then they'll do it. If that means they gotta lie straight to your motherfucking face, they'll do it. If that means that they gotta deceive, they'll do it. In every example I just gave, y'all have all seen the shit. You probably see that in 24 hours you see it. Not to mention 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. There's not a time you haven't seen a motherfucker just come out and lie. They'll tell you that the goddamn sky is lavender if that means that they can practice supremacy for one extra day. They'll tell you grass ain't green, it's purple. If that means they can practice supremacy for one extra day. If they can fool 3 black folks, they will tell you any fucking lie they can come up with because the whole game is based on deception. Trust me, it wouldn't be where it is right now if motherfuckers weren't out here fronting. If motherfuckers weren't out here faking. If motherfuckers weren't out here scheming, scamming, plotting. You feel me? So what we do as regulators, mount up, we call that shit out, we see through all the bullshit and we enforce the motherfucking code. And to enforce the code means you got to be direct, means you got to be real, means you got to be straightforward. As a matter of fact, if you look at every single black pillar, any black leader or any black intellectual who has ever existed, I'm talking about all the way back, Marcus Garvey, you can go Harriet Tubman, you can go the Black Panther Party, Malcolm X, anybody. The number one thing they did was they were honest and direct. I mean, damn, Harriet Tubman rode around with a motherfucking strap and told motherfuckers if you get off code, you gonna see that strap. Y'all know about Auntie Polly. Auntie Polly running around with boiling hot motherfucking water. It will drench your ass if you was off code. You can't get more direct than that. When my man say this is right, it can't get no righter. And that's what we do. We stay direct and we stay real. We say what motherfuckers is thinking, but motherfuckers is scared to say. And we bring that truth to a fake ass world. Everybody wants to be fake. Remember this, and I say this consistently. The whole goddamn world is anti-black and everybody's complicit in it. And it's basically us foundational black Americans, certified American freemen, certified black society on this side, and then everybody else who got problems with us on that side. And we call them for what the fuck they are. We ain't out here holding hands, kicking legs. This ain't no motherfucking cheerleader contest. We're not here to appease motherfuckers' happiness. We're not talking about the world it ought to be. We talking about the world it is. And the world that I see, you see, and we all see is a world of people who oppress us, a world who hates us, and the world will do anything just to bring us down. And then what do I see on our side? I see the most strong, the most resilient, the most hated on, the most beautiful, passionate, powerful people in the motherfucking world, and can't nobody do shit about it. That's why they mad. Well, guess what? If they mad at us now, then them gonna be some mad motherfuckers because we getting stronger by the day. That is peace, power, deliver, and we bringing it. So with that said, we see a lot of things going on in terms of these folks trying to bring us down. See, once we got on code, everything was a domino effect. Everything had a chain reaction. See, when black folks ain't on code, motherfuckers is running around here happy with their teeth showing because they feel they got us where they want us. Once we get on code, that means we start disrupting the whole fucking game. We throwing a wrench in the game. Politically, they can't just play us. Socially, they can't just play us. I told you, look at all them videos of them running up on black folks. Them videos have come down. Look at the Democratic Party. Look at all they polls and all they hustles. That shit done come down. Look at all them Democratic shills who think that they running shit, but they not. They job opportunities have come down. Hello, Tiffany Cross. We see you. Wink. I mean, you name it. You go down the list of games that they used to play, and every single one of them have been decreased by us. And that's the way you fight this shit. That's the way you handle it. So when you start talking about these prepaid bucks out here that love trying to publicly lynch a brother, publicly lynch a sister, trying to humiliate us, these motherfuckers are starting to go down. It used to be sweet. Y'all know what time it was. A motherfucker get on TV right now and say, as a black man, I am just appalled at what Dave Chappelle said. Or I'm just appalled by what Bill Cosby did. Or I'm just appalled by Kyrie Irving. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They do that shit all the motherfucking time. All the time. This is what we call right here on the Black Alpha Network, these prepaid bucks. These motherfuckers done already got their Uncle Tom paychecks. As a matter of fact, they wouldn't even fucking be there in that seat if they weren't prepaid. You feel me? And when I say prepaid, I'm not necessarily talking about it money. No. These motherfuckers are getting paid now the same shit motherfuckers used to get paid then in butter biscuits. Because it don't mean no finances. It don't mean no dollars, no nickels, no quarters. These motherfuckers don't want none of that. All they want is a pat on the motherfucking head from Zaddy, and to them, that means they're rich. Remember, proximity to the dominant society, getting a pat on the motherfucking head by massa, that is like being rich to these motherfuckers. They can lose all their goddamn money in the world, but they'll still be content as long as Zaddy acknowledges them. This is how weak defeated these motherfuckers are. That's why we separate the counterfeits from the certified. We separate the fake from the real. The fake can't come around us. The fake can't come around us. The fake come around us, we're gonna boot their ass back across the motherfucking street because that's the only way it can go. Feel me? The more things change, the more they stay the same. The more the things change, the more we stay on game. We got to look at what's going on right now with our brother Kyrie Irving, the way things transpired with Dave Chappelle, the way things transpired with the baby, the way things transpired with Bill Cosby. This is just your modern day buck breaking. All right? Ain't nothing changed but the fucking technology. Ain't nothing changed but the technology. It's the same exact way. Where they couldn't tie a brother to the whipping post right now, but they could take a brother's endorsements away. They couldn't tie a brother to the whipping post right now, but they could send a brother to jail on trumped up charges. They can't tie a brother to the whipping post right now, but they can suspend you and stop your right for making a living. That's what they do to Kyrie Irving. It's the same thing they did to Muhammad Ali. I mean, the facts, the receipts, the resume is all fucking there. All you gotta do is look at it. Ain't nothing fucking changed but the weather. All right? The world done spun around, but these motherfuckers are still supremacists. And that's exactly what's occurring right now with our brother Kyrie Irving. Same thing that's going on with Kanye West. And here's the thing. A lot of black folks who try to straddle the fence, because there are ones who straddle the fence, they come to find out that they ass can be broken just as well. Kanye West is saying that. And I've already said on record, Kanye West thought he was going to straddle the fence and do a little supremacy over here and then still try to maintain a little blackness right here. It don't fucking work that way, okay? Because at the end of the goddamn day, everybody's going to get tied to that whipping post if the dominant society feels means. It's all about public humiliation. Public humiliation. Because at the root of buck breaking, that's what it was. It was to take everything that you have in terms of empowerment and strip it away. What's the only way, family, that you combat anti-blackness? What's the only way? Black empowerment. That is exactly what it is. So if you can strip away somebody's power, that means you stripped away somebody's black empowerment. Black empowerment is very contagious. Once one young person sees a black empowerment in a man or a woman, then that young person wants to duplicate it themselves, and eventually they grow up to be that powerful man or woman themselves. So they got to stop that shit before it grows, and now you have prepaid bucks. And we all know what it is. We all know who they are. We know how they act. We know what the fuck they gonna say. We know they talking points before they even say them. When you start dealing with a buck, you dealing with a motherfucker who's already defeated. Somebody who's already docile. They never stood up to supremacy. They don't stand up for themselves. They are shameless. They have no spine, and they'll do whatever the dominant society says. These I don't want to be black motherfuckers. That's who they are, and they're defeated. And once they're defeated, the first thing they want to do is bring down anybody else who's strong. That's what they want. They feel insecure about another black person who loves being black. A black person who is prideful, a black person who loves their lineage, loves their community, is the biggest threat to a buck who hates theyself. You show me somebody who hates theyself, I'm gonna show you somebody who hates a motherfucker who loves theyself. You feel me? Since foundational black Americans are the strongest lineage, we are the strongest heritage, we have the strongest culture, that means you're gonna have a bunch of other motherfuckers who can't stand our culture that wanna bring us down. Now, typically, these are a lot of motherfuckers who are not black, but then you gotta deal with the motherfuckers who are. Look at Shaquille O'Neal. Look at that motherfucker. You think he actually loves being black? Hell no. Charles Barkley? Hell no. Shannon Sharp? Hell no. They'd do everything in their power to not be black. They would sell their soul if they could be 2 shades lighter. And then they'll sell their soul again to be 3 shades lighter than that. These motherfuckers don't like themselves. They don't like nothing about our community because we're strong. Charles Barkley run around all day and act like he's this big alpha male. No, you ain't. And then look at all the women. Look at who these people keep company with. Google it right now. Go type in women and Shannon Sharp and look at all the Karens that he be around. Charles Barkley, I think his wife is a W. Go look at that. Shaquille O'Neal, he have a sister here or there, but Shaquille O'Neal deep down inside, he want to go do that tap dancing for Papa John's. You feel me? This is why they want to do it. It ain't nothing motherfuckers is making up. It ain't just one item or one aspect with these motherfuckers. You can look at their whole lifestyles, and it's always trying to snuggle up next to the dominant society. Whether that's who they sleep with, who they date, who they hang around, the neighborhoods, their words, their actions, everything lines up. You follow motherfuckers' words and their actions, then you'll get the truth to the situation. When you follow motherfuckers' words and their actions, then you'll get the truth to everything they say. It ain't hard to tell. It ain't hard to tell. Family, y'all know. Y'all can see these motherfuckers right now and already see what they about. I don't do all this. It's hard to figure out shit. All right? Y'all know who cooning and y'all know who ain't. Y'all know who tap dancing. Y'all know who ain't. Y'all know who doing a motherfucking coon walk and who ain't. We're not going to play these games where this shit is hard to figure out. We're not going to play these games where we just can't comprehend it. No. Remember, all that I can't figure it out and this shit is so difficult, that only works for the dominant society. That works in their favor. It is no favor to us to sit here and try to comprehend some shit that's easy to tell. It's easy to tell who be on that bullshit. The same motherfucker who always got their mouth open, dogging another brother or sister, but don't ever say shit about the dominant society, there's your fucking buck. There's your buck, there's your bed wench, there they are right then and there. You got motherfuckers who be bed wenching, and every time they open their mouth, it's about a black man. Won't say shit. You can literally have a W man go on a fucking spree of harming sisters, and they won't say shit. But yet, a brother will say some shit on the internet. A motherfucker with 5 followers on the internet will say some shit, and they'll apply that shit to every brother on the earth. Do a whole dissertation about how evil black men are. Won't say shit about all the statistics that prove how the dominant society harms black women. Won't say nothing about that. Nope, they'll be quiet. They won't say a motherfucking thing. Or flip that, a brother can run into a burning fucking building, Save 20 sisters. Bring him out. He could be charred up with all types of pain. She won't even mention the shit. She'd be like, well, Bob would have ran in there 5 seconds quicker. See, these black men don't love us. If he really loved us, he would have ran into the building as soon as the first fire started. Y'all know what I'm talking about? They'll run their mouth all about brothers in a negative light, never say something in a positive light. And when it comes to W's, they'll say things about them in a positive light, but never say things in a negative light. It's the same thing that these bucks do. These bucks to get on TV and be like, man, I just feel Kyrie Irving was wrong and he needs to apologize. Bill Cosby needs to apologize. Dave Chappelle needs to apologize. The baby needs to apologize. All black men need to apologize. Even if you're a black man who had nothing to do with any of this shit, you need to apologize on their behalf. This is what I'm talking about. They always talk around the dominant society. They always talk around supremacy. They always talk around anti-blackness. They fight black folks more than they fight anti-blackness. And this is the motherfuckers that's supposed to be so hard to figure out. These are the motherfuckers we need to wait until they wake up. These are the motherfuckers we need to give them some time. These are the motherfuckers we need to just understand where they're coming from. We need to have a conversation with. Fuck no, fuck no, fuck no, fuck no, fuck no, and fuck no. Fuck them all. Straight up. If you see somebody on that bullshit, point them out. And that's what we do. Foundational Black Americans, we point them out. That's why everybody got a problem with us. Not only do we see the bullshit, we call out the bullshit. No longer can you go around on this bullshit spree where you just say a bunch of falsehoods, a bunch of fake ass narratives about us, and we just got to sit there and act like we don't get it. No, we get it clearly. We get it clearly. We on code, you off code. We real, you fake, we certified, you counterfeit, and your ass is getting ran the fuck off the block. That's how you do things. That's the only answer. The only answer is that. So when you sit here and you see these situations where a brother sister is being chastised, they're being publicly humiliated, they're being tied to the societorial whipping post, and then the first motherfucker you see is a black person on television, typically in sports, because we all know sports is the biggest plantation. The goddamn NFL combine looks like a fucking slave auction. They got brothers taking their shirts off and shit. You got W's with cameras measuring their fucking arms like they about to sell their ass to Mississippi. And the first thing they do is they get all these old sports athletes who were coons they goddamn self, and then they come down on the brothers and sisters. That's what they do. Or these talking heads. Stephen A. Smith. Has Stephen A. Smith ever came at the dominant society? And anytime he does, his ass on TV saying, well, I said some remarks that are bad. I apologize. Now, the same Stephen A. Smith can get on television right now and say all types of negative things about black folks. Does it every day. He can sit there and equate smoking weed to black men. He can equate loud music to black men. He can say, and he literally said this, that black men come to interviews with their pants sagging. That's what he says. Now his ass said one motherfucking thing about that W woman, and then next you know he did this.
Good morning. On Friday, speaking right here on First Take on the subject of domestic violence, I made what can only amount to the most egregious error of my career. While elaborating on thoughts concerning the NFL's ruling versus Ray Rice, following a domestic dispute with his then fiancée, I ventured beyond the scope of our discussion by alluding to a woman's role in such heinous matters, going so far as to use the word provoke in my diatribe. My words came across that it is somehow a woman's fault. This was not my intent. It is not what I was trying to say. Yet the failure to clearly articulate something different lies squarely on my shoulders. To say what I actually said was foolish is an understatement. To say I was wrong is obvious. To apologize, to say I'm sorry, doesn't do the matter its proper justice, to be quite honest. But I do sincerely apologize.
See what I'm talking about? You see the change in energy? You see the change in energy, right?
I was wrong, period. There's no excuse.
Outspoken TV sports personality Stephen A. Smith is apologizing today after igniting a firestorm on the eve of baseball's All-Star games.
It was me. I said it. And the reality is that I was completely clueless.
The ESPN analyst came under attack after he took aim at Shohei Ohtani, a Japanese-born superstar who plays for the LA Angels but doesn't speak much English.
Shohei Ohtani!
Ohtani uses an interpreter for TV interviews, like this one at last night's Home Run Derby.
Honestly, I just want to kick back and enjoy the shows with all the great hitters.
Not good, according to Smith.
The fact that you got a foreign player that doesn't speak English, that needs an interpreter, believe it or not, I think contributes to harming the game to some degree.
There was uproar on social media. Smith is now backing down.
I just want to look into the camera and extend my sincere apologies. That was not my intent at all.
These motherfuckers apologize. Matter of fact, let me say this. Who have you seen on television apologize more? Black folks or W's? Or anybody? Matter of fact, Black folks have apologized on television more than every single fucking race combined. When was the last time? And I'm giving you all races together. You could take the dominant society, you could take all their minions, you could take motherfuckers from the Caribbean, you could take people from Latin America, you could take people from the Middle East, all of them together. They have not apologized more than black folks on ESPN. Black folks on ESPN is apologizing every fucking week. Matter of fact, here's another one. Jalen Rose, listen.
I'm Jalen Rose, and I would like to apologize for a comment I made earlier on NBA Countdown. I question why a woman's name who had an alleged affair with Celtics head coach Ime Udoka was not made public. After an internal investigation, and it was discovered that she was a subordinate to the head coach, I now understand fully why her name should not be released to the public. Now back to our NBA coverage.
All these apologies and not one for a black person. Y'all notice a trend, right? It's always about another group outside of blackness. You'll never see somebody apologizing to black people. They'll say all types of crazy shit about us, but they'll never apologize to black folks. Now you say a peep about somebody else, your ass gonna be just like Jalen Rose. I apologize for what I did, cause I was a wrong little boy. The fuck out of here. Prepaid bucks. Our brother Corey Holcomb, he broke that shit down, and he talked about how all the motherfuckers on ESPN on that plantation be looking like straight up fools, and every time they get to talking, everybody's laughing at their ass. Listen to our brother right here. He breaks that shit down the real way.
Y'all motherfuckers on ESPN, man, y'all motherfuckers look stupid. Even my brother Jalen Rose, when Jalen Rose apologized, man, it was the most embarrassing shit I saw that day. I was looking. I was like, look what they made him do. Jalen Rose didn't want to apologize. That man said, I now understand what I did wrong. I was like, Stephen A. and Molly was sitting in bed like, yeah. When you work
got it.
orientation for Caucasian media, Jalen Rose's apology from this week should be part of orientation. This is what happens if you speak from the heart.
Damn.
You got to look stupid in front of your people. Everybody find that Jalen Rose apology where he looked like he was at gunpoint. It is the saddest shit. He said, I now understand that I ain't supposed to say that.
Yeah, let me have a conversation about my blackness for a second. In an election year, and also when you have circumstances that Ime Udoka put himself in, circumstances that you have Kyrie Irving put himself in. I've literally seen people trying to politicize the messengers, and I'm one of those people. And let me just say this out loud, it's very important. I did more for this culture before 9 a.m. today than most people gonna do in their lifetime. Just because I don't think Kyrie should be derailing the next season, if I'm not trumpeting what is low-hanging fruit, that don't make me a sellout. And by the way, I was with the great Sir Charles Barkley last night. And we had a 2-hour conversation about this. 2-hour conversation about this in person. Had a 2-hour conversation with Charles Barkley about this. Just because I don't agree with Kanye or Kyrie, that don't mean that I'm cooning for the man. That means that I don't believe what he doing is right.
Now you see that? And you notice how every time they apologize, they'll apologize for something they said, but at the same time, they'll kind of like dig at us. What kind of shit is that? If you apologizing for some shit you said, how the fuck do you find time to say something bad about foundational black Americans? They'll apologize, be like, I'm sorry for what I said and what I said was wrong. But black folks, y'all really started this. They'll do that shit all the time. Somehow in the middle of their apology, they'll be blaming us. Won't blame the motherfucker who's making them apologize, get tied to the whipping post and humiliated publicly. Won't say shit about that. They'll find time in the middle of their fucking apology to say, black folks, y'all did this to me. Or y'all needs to do this. Jalen Rose said he's done more for the culture than anybody. First off, doing something for the culture ain't apologizing like a little sissy on television, homeboy. Understand that. So you can take whatever the fuck you think you done did for the culture, and you can take that shit and you can shove it, because at the end of the day, there ain't nothing good about being buck broken on national television. You're prepaid. Yes, he is a PPB, a prepaid buck. All right, it ain't no prepaid calling card. His ass is a prepaid buck, and they call on his ass to do some bucking, but we ain't bucking around, partner. So keep that shit to yourself. This one I'm talking about. Motherfucker literally thinks somewhere in his apology he can take a dig at us. Can you imagine if your ass had to get, fucking, just say for it, say you got in trouble by your parents, and your parents said go apologize to your sister, and you got to go apologize to your sister, and somehow in the middle of apologizing to your sister, you start blaming your brother. What the fuck that got to do with anything? This lets you know that they view us in the light. This is what we talk about. They don't feel it's the dominant society breaking them on national television. They don't feel it's the dominant society breaking them in front of all their peers. They don't feel it's the dominant society breaking them professionally, personally, or publicly. No, they feel it's our fault. This is what I'm talking about a prepaid buck. These motherfuckers always feel it's on us. They will apologize all day long, smoke for us up and down, smoke for us side to side. But the motherfucker who got you on TV like a 2-year-old fucking baby, because that's how you're being treated, big grown ass man, these motherfuckers be 6'5" on television talking like they 2'1". What the fuck? Motherfucker be 42 years old talking like he's in the 2nd grade. Y'all know when kids start crying and shit and they be sniffling? Hey, these motherfuckers be sniffling. The blacks, y'all made me masters bad at me. Big ass fucking buck. Matter of fact, that leads me to some more shit. Hey, we rocking right now. Hey, y'all subscribe to the Black Alpha Network. Make sure y'all smash that like button, man. You know we with the family, and when we with the family, we gives no fucks. We say whatever the fucks we feel, however the fuck we want to say it. And if the Bucks get mad, fuck them too. Anyway, that brings me to another fucking statement. Who have you seen apologizing more on television? Who have you seen crying more on television than black men? Who? I've seen in the last 5 years more black men over 6 foot tall crying than Karens under 5 foot. What the fuck? What the fuck? How in the fuck can an athlete, this motherfucker 6'5", this motherfucker can jump out the gym, and he on TV crying, talking about some, I didn't mean to say what I said, nah, and I hurt some folks, and I shouldn't have did what I did when I did what I done. And then a Karen be on TV talking about some, well, I don't care and bye, fuck you. And he be, I'm sorry, Karen, please forgive me. What part of the fucking game is that? Matter of fact, it is the game. It's the prepaid buck game. It's buck breaking. This is exactly what goes on. Trust me, family, who have y'all seen cry on TV more than a black man? Every fucking year I see black men crying. Just crying tears. I did a piece on one of my episodes back in the day, and I put together like a collage of black men crying. Do y'all know that I had to actually break that shit down into just regular numbers? Because I found like fucking 18 fucking black dudes crying on TV, and I had to just go with 4 for the video because I didn't want the shit to be 5 hours long. Basically what I'm trying to say is, I found so much footage of black men crying, I had to edit that shit out and put it on the editing room floor because I didn't want the fucking video to go overboard. God damn, there shouldn't have been that many. There shouldn't have been that many. And this is what we're talking about. This is buck breaking. We all know what buck breaking is. We all understand it. And this is why today on the Black AlphaCast, I'm breaking down the prepaid buck. The prepaid buck is a motherfucker who already has his job title. He already has his agenda. His agenda is to bring down black folks. And they do this to all of us. They do this to brothers and sisters. So as I say, who have you seen on TV crying more than black men? Who have you seen on TV making apologies, but at the same time getting mad at us for the dominant society making them apologize? What kind of shit is that? It's black folks you see all the time. Who have you seen publicly lose endorsements more than black folks? Now you have a motherfucker from the dominant society sitting there saying the most horrendous shit. You can see a motherfucker from the dominant society committing crimes. You can see motherfuckers from the dominant society saying shit the whole fucking world knows is wrong. And they ain't got to apologize, ain't lost a fucking dollar. Black man, black woman lose everything. Look at our sister Kyrie Richardson. They took her opportunity to win medals away from her. You feel me? If it isn't an endorsement deal, if it isn't a television contract, if it isn't your future endeavors, they'll stop you from actually participating in the sport. 9 times out of 10, it's a sport that black folks run. They run. Muhammad Ali was the greatest boxer of all time. In the middle of his prime, they took that shit away from him. Same thing they did to our sister Kyrie Richardson. They knew that she was about to run shit in the Olympics. And I don't mean figuratively, like run. No, she was about to run that shit. Take over. And they stopped her because guess what? They didn't want a sister whooping everybody else's ass. That is public humiliation. They will tie sisters to the whipping post as well. This is what they do. I mean, look at it. When was the last time y'all seen any of these Karens getting their job title stripped away from them? Not being afforded the opportunity to make a living. Now it's funny, the only time you see a woman being publicly tied to the whipping post, having to apologize, getting her opportunities to succeed in her field taken away from her, it's a black woman. You ain't never see this. That Nuri Martinez chick who's out in California right now saying racist stuff about little black kids. Did anybody ever make her publicly apologize? As a matter of fact, she said, fuck your apology. She said, I ain't apologizing for shit. I ain't stepping down for shit. Come and make me, motherfucker. That's what all these other women get the opportunity to do. A sister doesn't get that. You can see motherfuckers on The View every day saying all types of racist shit about black folks. Do they ever have to step down? Do they ever have to come down? When Sarah Silverman or whatever fuck her name was running around in blackface, did she ever lose $1? Did she ever get anything taken away from her? As a matter of fact, I see her right now on commercials today advertising for people making millions of fucking dollars. Come on. She ain't never lose no contracts, no. So it's funny that they'll sit out here and they'll talk about feminisms in the woman's world, but the only time you ever see a woman getting publicly chastised, getting publicly humiliated, and getting her job opportunities taken away from her, it's a black woman. As a matter of fact, back to our sister, Sha'Carri Richardson, they got her for smoking weed. But then you had that other W woman who's a soccer player. She didn't only smoke weed, she promoted selling fucking weed. She had a whole goddamn dispensary and would tell you, I love weed because it helps my joints in the morning. It makes me kick the soccer ball further. And they ain't said shit. You see the double side of it. And then what did you have? You had a bunch of prepaid bucks who was on television saying, I believe that she shouldn't have smoked. And if you smoke weed, then limit the consequences. Up with hope, down with dope. And they ain't said a motherfucking thing about the W. Did not just say that they go around the W, they go around supremacy, they go around all the minorities, and they only focus on bringing black folks down. This is buck breaking in modern form. You can't tie them to the whipping post, so you tie the whipping post to them. That's always the game plan, and that is always what they do, and we see it all the time. You understand that anytime they got something on a black person, it's always to the letter of the law. They like, we can't change it at all. Nope, this is what it is. The law in section 4.5 says that you got to do 29 years in jail, 3 months, and 4 days. That's just what it is. Sorry, it's our law. We can't break it. Y'all notice that? But when it comes to somebody from the dominant society, then all of a sudden they'll start bending the shit, twisting the shit, and accommodating them. Look at Kyle Rittenhouse. Look at all the fucking cases. You can look all across the board and you always see when it comes to the dominant society, they'll start bending it. They'll say, I know the law says this, but we gonna make a pass because that ain't really what they meant. How many times have you seen some NFL owner, some NBA owner come out and say something absolutely anti-black? And they don't ever get punished. They don't ever lose any endorsements. They don't ever lose their team. Motherfuckers come out and say, well, you know, he didn't mean it. He's 79 years old. That's how it used to be back when he grew up. You know, like that shit floats. And first off, it ain't how it used to be when you grew up. Your ass is practicing the same anti-blackness in 1952 that motherfuckers is practicing in 2022. All right? That's exactly what it is. But they'll start finding all these excuses on why they should let them off the hook. But when it comes to a black brother or sister, they find every reason why they have to punish them to the fullest extent of the law. Look at Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving did not break no laws. Okay, can I say this? Can we raise our fucking hand? What crime did Kyrie Irving commit? If you listen to Kyrie Irving's situation, he posted a link. The brother didn't even say nothing. All he did was took his finger and press send. He is being punished for pressing send, while other people aren't being punished for pulling triggers. Yep, I said it. I said it one more time too. Kyrie Irving is out here being punished for pressing send, while race soldiers aren't being punished for pulling triggers. Damn. See the difference? Oh yeah, that's exactly what the difference is. And the way the news speaks about it, they'll almost lead you to believe that Kyrie committed a crime. The way he gets slandered, the way his name gets smeared, the same way they drag him through the mud, you'll start to think that he actually committed a crime. Anytime you read an article, they'll say, oh, those anti-this that Kyrie said, or the anti-that statement. They will never tell you that maybe it wasn't anti. They will never say that maybe what he said wasn't bad. Maybe what he said is just how he felt. But they will never present it to you like that. It's always definitive. Remember, when it comes to black brothers and sisters, it's always definitive. Oh, he was wrong. He was bad. He's guilty. They'll say it straight like that. Anytime it's a race soldier or somebody from another community, then it's, we don't know. We not sure. Let's figure it out. When it comes to us, it's hard line and solid. The blame game. When it comes to everybody else, it's flimsy, it's loose. You got a lot of wiggle room. They can slide out, they can sneak out, they can slither out, they can snake out. They do that shit on purpose, family. They do that shit on purpose. So when you start talking about Kyrie Irving, who posted a link, everybody's up in arms about that and they treat him like he's a criminal. I said it like this, and I put this on Twitter. Everybody's seen it. I said Kyrie Irving is being punished to the fullest extent of the law, and he didn't even break the law. And he didn't even commit a crime. Yes, this man is being punished to the fullest extent of the law, and he didn't even commit a crime. I thought criminals got punished to the fullest extent of the law, not folks who didn't commit a crime, not folks who didn't do anything wrong. This brother is being punished. And what's another thing they always say? They say, well, you know, we got freedom of speech here in America. You may not like it. If you don't like it, you need to go to a communist country. They always say that. Anytime someone says something negative about us, a motherfucker get on TV right now, say something anti-black, and everybody's gonna tell you, hey, you know, it just is what it is. We in America, we went to war and we fought for the right to have free speech. And then when it comes to a black person who says something they don't like, and 9 times out of 10, what we say they don't like is really something true, then they'll say, well, you know, you got freedom of speech, but you can say what you want to say, but there's consequences for everything that comes out of our mouth. You see what I'm talking about? They'll flip-flop all the way around. When you can look at folks who say the most dastardly things about brothers. Did you see that guy, that teacher who was in that school? And he basically said, yeah, I'm a supremacist. I'm superior over all y'all. This is a motherfucking teacher talking to black kids, and he's telling you that he's superior. And he's telling this to the goddamn kids in the classroom. What the fuck that got to do with being a teacher? In any means and any grounds, that is grounds for termination. Listen.
Deep down in my heart, I'm ethnocentric, which means I think my race is the superior one.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Wait, no, let me finish.
Hey, look. So, white is better than all.
No, let me finish.
Go ahead. Hey.
I think everybody thinks that, they're just not honest about it.
Hey, I'm not racist, though. I like all types of kinds.
Did I say I don't like people?
People only think that.
Wait, so you said you are what? You are racist?
Saying you're like...
You're
I
racist?
think everybody's a racist at that level.
No, but you said you are racist.
I did. I'm trying to be honest.
Yes, I'm racist.
No, I'm not saying it again. I've said it enough.
So you're
I
racist.
think I should like tell you something.
Put your phone up.
I respected you. I actually respected you for a while, but like
I'm
now, phone up. I already got no more respect for you. Yeah, for real. I don't think I got respect for him no more.
I'm not even going to talk about what would happen if that was a black teacher. But you know goddamn well you can't go for science class and your teacher tells you he's a supremacist, he's superior to you, and his ass just gets a pat on the wrist. And yeah, I said it like that on purpose, not a slap on the wrist, a pat on the wrist. In order to slap somebody on the wrist, that requires force. These motherfuckers ain't getting no force. He got a pat on the wrist. And let's be real, when the story goes away, he'll be right back at his motherfucking school, and he probably won't even be a teacher anymore. He'll be the fucking principal. He'll get a fucking promotion and a pay raise. You feel me? That's how it works. But yet Kyrie Irving, a guy posted a link, and this is what happens. And what happened after Kyrie did this? They got on that phone, they called all their prepaid bucks, all right? A prepaid buck, ladies and gentlemen, is like a prepaid calling card, all right? They done already came and provided them with whatever little fucking butter biscuit they're gonna give them, whatever little trinket they're gonna give them, and then they say, go ahead and do it. But just like a prepaid calling card, a prepaid buck, you got a motherfucking time limit. Oh yeah, it ain't unlimited minutes, homeboy. It ain't unlimited minutes, because after you're done cooning, the motherfucking job is going to be done, and then your ass is going to get broke, because we all know supremacy uses their sellouts and then they break them. So it's all going to come down to motherfucking pipe, trust and believe. But what's the first thing they did to Kyrie? They sent out Shaquille O'Neal. Shaquille O'Neal called Kyrie Irving an idiot. That's what he said. I know Shaq ain't talking, because motherfucking Shaq can barely finish a motherfucking sentence. I mean, look at the picture. Shaq, a big old 7-foot tall dude who puts on wigs. All right, that's what he is. All right, so I don't want to hear him calling anybody no motherfucking idiot. Charles Barkley can't even talk. This is terrible. Terrible. Shut up. You can't even fucking talk. But he called Kyrie Irving an idiot based upon Kyrie Irving again sending a link. Listen to this.
Some people are conscious, some people are not. I can tell he's not conscious. He doesn't really care what's going on. But us, I know that the game that we used to love and we promote, it brings people together. And it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here and talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer for what this idiot has done. I stand for equality of all people.
I think you should get suspended or fined. I think, and I can't believe that we ain't talking about that. We're talking about this idiot. And when you say, if I say, hey, I'm agreeing with this movie, this book, or whatever, I'm agreeing with it. I'm not going to first of all, I don't do any social media, but when you're somebody as great as basketball like him, people going to listen to you what you say. And there's some fringe people out there, but like I say, I blame the NBA. He should have been suspended.
And their conversations are continuing with the Brooklyn Nets,
it's too
with
late
the NBA,
now.
but they're also looking at, look.
Notice how when it comes to black folks, they talk about how we're influencers and how we need to be role models and how everything we say has impact. It's funny how they'll put the emphasis on being an influencer on black folks when ain't a cop an influencer. And what do? A lot of them harm black folks unjustly, but don't nobody run around and put that on them. They'll sit here and talk about a black basketball player, a black football player, a black boxer, and say, oh, you need to be punished because you have influence over children. Yep, and so do police officers, but you don't ever want to punish them for harming children. That's what we're talking about, family. That's what we're talking about. Now, can we say this that nobody wants to talk about? And this is the deal. This is why they love their prepaid bucks. And this is why they love being prepaid bucks, because they can do things and they get a little benefit here or there. No one wants to talk about how Shaquille O'Neal, he aired in his movie theaters the same exact movie. How can a guy play the movie, profit off the movie, not get punished, but the guy who sent the damn link out gets punished? And then the guy who played the movie, profited off the movie, his ass is trying to criticize the guy who sent the link. What part of the game is that? This is what we talk about. This shit ain't ever solid. This shit ain't ever real. This shit ain't ever strong. There's always some funny style, sucker, goofy ass shit with this. You got a motherfucker who played the movie and got paid off the movie, profited off the goddamn movie, and he's sitting here criticizing the guy who sent the link. And no talk. Have y'all seen anybody talk about how Shaquille O'Neal played that movie at his theaters? Have you heard anybody talking about taking his theaters away? How come Kyrie Irving is getting his Nike deal took away from him for posting a link? Okay, once again, not committing a crime. He didn't rob any stores. He didn't steal no candy. He didn't take a fucking cookie from the cookie jar. And he getting his endorsements taken away from him for posting a link when Shaq played and got paid off the movie. And no talk. Y'all think that they don't know that? Y'all think that the same people who are coming down on Kyrie don't know that Shaq played the movie in his theaters? You goddamn right they know. It's just Shaq is a prepaid buck, so they're giving him his prepaid buck benefits. That's exactly what's happening. They say, Shaq, we know what you did, but what's your job? Your job is to come down on a brother. That's what it is. All of them. When you see these motherfuckers write these articles, black men hate house pets now. Y'all know that black men can't stand dogs and cats. When Jamil Hill and all these other motherfuckers come out and they write these slander articles on black men and black women, what do y'all think is happening? These folks are getting monetized underneath the table. And mind you, monetization for them is not in the form of dollars. Okay, to them, being next to Zaddy is like hitting the fucking lotto. That's the best thing in the world to them. So therefore, they utilize it. So they know what Shaq did. They know goddamn well. But they're telling Shaq, we'll turn the eye to what you did. But you got one job. What y'all think that one job is? What y'all think that job is? That job is to throw Kyrie Irving under the bus, or whoever they tell him to throw under the bus. Whether that is man, woman, or child, that is exactly what they will do. So we got to be very, very, very keen and very, very aware of how this game works. Charles Barkley, I'm not even going to get into all the shit he did. Charles Barkley was back in the Olympics throwing people through windows and shit. Charles Barkley been selling out. As a matter of fact, Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal, are y'all surprised that these two guys, because they're not brothers, these two guys threw Kyrie Irving under the bus? And these are the same guys who threw Breonna Taylor under the bus. Listen.
Former Sixer and current basketball analyst Charles Barkley is facing backlash for his comments on the Breonna Taylor case. Last night during the NBA pregame show, he said Taylor's death should not be compared to other recent high-profile cases.
You know, we do have to take into account that her boyfriend did shoot at the cops and shot a cop. So, like I say, even though I'm really sorry she lost her life, I don't think that we can just say we can put this in the same situation with George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery. I just don't believe that.
Hall of Famer and co-host Shaquille O'Neal agreed with Barkley. Now both are facing criticism on social media.
See what I'm talking about? They threw Breonna Taylor under the bus, serving the dominant society as prepaid bucks. That's exactly what the fuck they did. PPB, prepaid buck. These motherfuckers done got their goddamn butter biscuits a long goddamn time ago, and they out here tap dancing. Another one is that Shannon Sharp guy, Mr. Ed. Okay, the motherfucker Skip. Did you see him Skip? The motherfucker say Skip 359 times in the interview, and then still don't even get the shit right. You feel me? The motherfucker got an overbite 3 times in a row. I don't even know what the motherfucker's saying. That's Mr. Ed every goddamn day. And what does he do? He gets on TV, he starts tap dancing. And then he acts like Kyrie Irving did something personally to him. You feel me? That's what they always do. They act like what happened was so egregious and it was so bad and it was so personal. These motherfuckers have the opportunity to not say nothing. They choose to. These motherfuckers have the opportunity to remain silent, but they don't. And they always inflate what the black man did, and then they always minimize what someone else has done. You feel me? You'll never see them come this hard on anybody else. Did y'all see Shaq or Charles Barkley say anything about Brett Favre? Did you? Brett Favre committed an actual crime. He committed federal crimes. He committed fraud. He committed embezzlement. He committed laundering. And he did it in cahoots with all the fucking state officials. No talk. They talked about his ass for about 2 days and it was gone, if they even did that. I know Shaquille O'Neal and what's the fucking name? I already forgot the motherfucking name. Charles Barkley. I know them motherfuckers. They didn't say shit. Shannon Sharp tried to goddamn act like he was getting mad and all that, but he ain't do nothing. Because you know why? Because he never talked about punishment. You ever notice that? That's another one of the differences. Whenever they start talking about a black person, they talk about punishment. They talk about taking things away. They talk about sending you somewhere else, outcasting you. You shouldn't work here no more. Take away your right to earn a living. But whenever they talk about a W, they'll basically just say, oh, it was bad. And I'm upset and I'm disappointed. You see what I'm talking about? When it comes to us, when we do not commit crimes, they talk about punishment. When it comes to everybody else who does commit crimes, they talk about disappointment. Now, there's a big difference between punishment and disappointment. Okay? Punishment means things get taken away from me. Punishment means I actually get harmed. Disappointment means it's just a fucking feeling. It's just an emotion. And they walk that tightrope because they understand that lets everyone off the hook. That's exactly what they do. Now let's talk about how they reel motherfuckers in. And let's talk about how these things start. Fam, I've been saying this shit for the last year. If y'all notice, just in this year, it's ending the same exact way the year started. Think about it. Every single group on the face of this earth has took turns coming after foundational black Americans. I ain't lying. Every single one. People have gotten laws written for them based upon coming after foundational black Americans. That's how the year started. Then you had the whole diaspora who came after foundational black Americans. You had the Power 106 situation out there on the West Coast, while simultaneously way on the East Coast, you had other folks saying that they co-created hip hop. Not to mention other groups with a lot of colors in their flags. They've been coming after foundational black Americans. Look at Dave Chappelle's situation. They came after Dave Chappelle. You had folks running on stage tackling Dave Chappelle. What does that say? And now look at this situation right here with Kyrie Irving and Dave Chappelle again. Look at it again. So it's fitting that the same way this year started with everybody coming after us is the same exact way it's ending right now. They have literally took turns. I mean, motherfucker go 2 weeks at a time. Here, I got 2 weeks to come in at FBA. The next 2 weeks is yours. Nope, well, here's your next 2 weeks. You take it. Well, I'll come back and I'll do it again. I'll take 2 months off and come back again after that. Everybody is taking turns coming at foundational black Americans. It's been happening all year. Y'all name me one group on this planet that has not came after foundational black Americans right here in the country that we built. Name me one. They've literally took turns, and it ain't just races. You got races, you got preferences, you got different spiritual beliefs, you got different creeds, you got different colored flags. Everybody has came after foundational black Americans, y'all. Everybody. And one by one, they've reeled in another brother or sister. When Kanye West came out and said the shit he said, and I'm gonna say it like this: Kanye, you're on your own. You're on your own, Kanye. You want to come out and call out that group over there, and then you want to troll us. You are what we call on the Black Alpha Network racially homeless. All right, that's exactly what the fuck you are, because I already said it. Kanye was throwing a fucking temper tantrum because he wants full access to being in the dominant society, and just the same way he wanted full access to being an NIGGA in Paris, the same way he wanted to be in the fucking the fashion industry, and he was talking about, I got ideas, they won't let me in. Okay, whatever. Well, you can let your ass in across the street because you can't come over here. But nonetheless, it started off with Kanye, and then when Kyrie posted the link, I said, here we go. They're gonna get Kyrie. They're gonna catch Kyrie. And I sat there and watched them. They wouldn't drop it. Y'all seen it. They wouldn't drop the shit. They was just blowing it up. Y'all know it's some sucker shit when they start blowing it up. And I sat back and watched it, and next you know, here came the Kyrie situation. They blew that up. And just a couple days ago, they threw in Dave Chappelle. So now they throw Dave Chappelle into the goddamn situation. You talking about this shit started off with Kanye, went over to Kyrie, flipped over to Dave Chappelle, and I promise y'all, in the next few weeks, it will be somebody else. That's what they do. They target one brother or sister, then they start reeling in everybody around them. They see who's gonna play ball and who ain't gonna play ball. If you do not play ball, then they're gonna reel your ass in and slander you. Look what happened with Kyrie Irving, fam. They wanted to get Kyrie Irving for a year ago for what he refused to do. Y'all know what I mean. He refused to do something, and then all of a sudden, he became public enemy number one. Stephen A. Smith wouldn't quit talking about Kyrie Irving. They be sitting there talking about the New York Yankees and baseball. He somehow tied that into Kyrie Irving. They be talking about Thanksgiving. Somehow he tied that into Kyrie Irving. You could tell it was just eating this dude alive that Kyrie Irving was not playing ball. Because remember, when you start talking about a buck, when you start talking about a sellout, when you start talking about a counterfeit, they cannot stand certifieds, because certifieds are everything they wish they could be, but they don't have the backbone. They don't have the power. They don't have the prowess to be so. I told you before, you show me somebody who hates themselves, then I'm going to show you somebody who hates people who love themselves. That's what it is, because hate is just love turned upside down. And these motherfuckers cannot stand strong, well-minded black folks, because that's something they can never be. And Stephen A. Smith, y'all know, he cannot stand being black at all. He's just like all the rest of the suckers. Suckers of a feather tap dance together, okay? That's exactly what they do. That's exactly who they are. So they were already mad at Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving is playing the role of outlaw, okay? He's not being complicit. He's not going along to get along. That's not the game. And once you get seen as an outlaw in the system of supremacy, they gonna come after you. One way or another. They're going to get you today. They're going to get you tomorrow. They'll just make some shit up at the end of the day. They'll inflate something. They'll take a link you posted and act like you just robbed a bank. This is what they do, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. So when you start talking about the plantation and you start talking about today, you can draw a direct line and direct parallels between the two of them. The brother or sister back in the day who was always defiant, said, I ain't gonna go pick cotton. I ain't gonna go do the hoedown. Master said, y'all get over there. And everybody said, okay, master. And he said, man, fuck that. That type of brother, they would sit back and say, you see him right there? Keep your eye on him. Separate him and her. Take her and put her way over there on another plantation. That's why they would sell a lot of black folks. The reason why they sold black folks, it wasn't just because they wanted money. A lot of times they would trade black folks like football cards because they was trying to keep the outlaws, the rebels, the alphas away from each other. If you had a sister who was about that business and wouldn't play no fucking games, they would try to keep her away from the brother who was about that business and didn't play no games. They want to remove you from each other. It's like school. You see this in the business world. In the business world, anybody who's been in corporate America, a lot of black folks won't even know that there's multitude of black folks who work in the business. It's just they keep y'all separated. This motherfucker be right here in finance. This person work way on the other side of the fucking business in the cafeteria. They want to keep them away from each other. Now, when it comes to dominant society, they want to put them together. They want to have Bob and Bill and Sally and Jethro and Jimbo. They want to have them working all in the same room, all in the same office. Y'all know goddamn well they don't want a bunch of certifieds working in the same office. They do everything to keep you away. I know brothers who like, damn, I thought I was the only black man in this whole building. When I went to the parking lot today, I ran into 3 black folks. You know why? You want to know why you never seen them when you're on the clock and you only see them when you're off the clock? It's because they make sure that you work way the fuck over there. She works way the fuck over there. He works way the fuck over there. That's exactly why. They don't want you together. That's the same thing that would go on the plantation. They would identify the black folks who were on code. The code has always been here. Let's talk about the code, family. The code has always existed. We speak about the code now and we say we got to get on code like it's a new thing. No, it's not. The code has always existed as long as you had certified B1s. That has always existed. Foundational Black Americans since day one have had folks who are on code. We just put a brand on it. You feel me? We just put a name to it. We identified it. Same way we identify our lineage is the same way that we've identified the code. And you had black folks who was on code back in the day. And trust and believe, the same way they watch and see who's on code now and they try to separate them and divide them is the same thing they was doing back on the plantation. That's exactly what they did. That's exactly what it is. They might have to sell you. They might have to keep you separated. They might have to take things away from you. The same way they would take away dinner from a black person. The same way they would take away clothing from a black person. The same way they would take away your children, your husband, your wife away from you. That's the same thing they do to black folks today. They try to separate you from your family. They try to separate you from your loved ones. They try to separate you from making money. And that's exactly what's happening right now with Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving was supposed to come back. He was suspended and he's already went over his suspension. Already. They said he's supposed to be suspended for like 5 or 6 games. They already working on 7 and 8. They already, because they're trying to find a reason why they can never bring him back. That's really what it is. They're trying to find a reason how they can get Kyrie to never come back. That's why they keep changing the goalposts. That's why they keep moving things. All right, it starts off with this type of suspension, then it turns into that suspension. Then they say he's got a list of fucking things that he's supposed to abide by, like he's a fucking kid. You know what I'm saying? It's like you get in trouble and your mom says, clean your room, do the fucking dishes, feed the pets, and then you can go outside. This is what they're doing to him. They say, do this, and this, that, and that, and then you can come back. But even though we say that you're only supposed to be suspended this amount of games, and you already see every single day that goes by, they're adding more days to his suspension. It's the same way they add more time to you getting arrested. It's the same way they add more money that they can take away from you. But when it comes to everybody else, they don't do that. That's what we talk about being an outlaw to the system. All right, there's a difference between being a rebel to the system and being a buck to the system. The buck is out here doing everything they can do. Look at the picture right here. You see how they dressed up? You see what I'm talking about? Are y'all surprised that folks who are dressed like that and doing that type of shit that nobody asked for, by the way, they volunteer for that? You think the same people doing that are ever going to stand on something? Y'all think the same folks who are dressed like this here are ever going to represent something pure, represent something honest, or going to hold their brother or sister down? Hell, I don't fucking want them to. Y'all know I always say this shit. I'm down for the B1 certified black society riders. If you ain't on that, I don't want you. Goodbye. I don't want none of them motherfuckers looking like that. Bye, goodbye, good riddance, peace the fuck out. Okay, y'all continue to do that coon shit. We're going to continue to do this certified thing. That's what I'm talking about. So it's always better to be on your own. It's always better to stand next to your brother and sister, because that's the only time you're going to get something pure. The only time you're going to get something real. I always say, as a black person, the only thing that you can be affiliated with or associated with that's honest to you is by being black. Anything outside of black independence will be fraudulent, it'll be fake, and you will not be welcome. All right. So these black folks who join all of these other groups, all these other religions and political parties and think that they're there, you're not even a fucking 15th class citizen. All right. The only thing that you could ever be a part of that is real and is true to you is your lineage, your heritage, and your culture. Outside of that, a black person isn't welcome. So they can chase whatever the fuck they want to chase. They can try to good credit their way out of anti-blackness. They can try to finance their way out of anti-blackness. They can try to go move into a fucking neighborhood or go get them a W Karen and think that's going to get them a one-way pass out of anti-blackness. It ain't, because we all seen what happens. You can go sell out, you can go get good credit, you can tap dance all the fuck you want, but at the end of the day, you will be broken, and all these motherfuckers will be broken at the end of the day. But I guarantee you, the things that will prevail and will have the longest lasting effect is being certified all the way, straight up and down. Look at Muhammad Ali. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Muhammad Ali, I'm telling y'all, they took that man's career at the peak of his career. They took his prime away. And I guarantee you, everybody remembers Muhammad Ali for more pure reasons than any of them suckers that was throwing him under the bus. And trust and believe, the same way y'all see these motherfuckers right now, throwing Kyrie under the bus, throwing Dave Chappelle under the bus, throwing black men under the bus, throwing black women under the bus, the same motherfuckers that's doing that now, today, was motherfuckers back in the 60s doing that shit to Muhammad Ali. They were saying the same thing. You should go to war now. How dare you, Muhammad Ali? Joe Louis, I'm gonna say it. Joe Louis was against Muhammad Ali, never had something positive to say about Muhammad Ali, said Muhammad Ali needs to just shut up and go to war. You know how they say shut up and dribble? Shut up and go to war. That's what he told him, straight up and down. He did not like Muhammad Ali. He talking about Muhammad Ali's a bum and he would have knocked out Muhammad Ali. He was real jealous of Muhammad Ali. Joe Louis went to World War II and the U.S. government used Joe Louis as a proxy. Right here in America, Joe Louis and all black men was treated like trash. Okay, but America used Joe Louis as some type of shining bright example of America, some type of patriotism. They couldn't go get no W to fight for America, to fight for the heavyweight title, because they needed somebody to fight a German. They went and called the black man Joe Louis, and Joe Louis went down there and he won, and they was in the streets dancing. Oh, Joe Louis, oh, we love Joe Louis, so great. And Joe Louis ended up dying broke. Joe Louis went to war. Joe Louis was used as a proxy and a puppet for the American government in the boxing ring to go fight for America in two different ways. in the war and in the ring. And when he came back, the government systematically targeted him and took all his money away, and he died with nothing. While Muhammad Ali, on the other hand, he stood for what he believed in. He said he wasn't going to war. He stood for what he believed in. They took his prime away. He went back into the boxing ring, cleaned out the whole division, beat every fucking body, and got his title back multiple times. And he died a hero. Where black folks was lined up in the street representing him. Foundational Black American from Louisville, Kentucky, got foundational Black American love from foundational Black Americans all across the 50 states. That's what happens when you stand on your own. That's what happens when you got real love from the people. And that's what I'm talking about. So you go much further doing that. And all these folks who are out here apologizing, re-apologizing, apologizing again, y'all know what it is. As a matter of fact, that W girl, that W lady from ESPN, Rachel Nichols, I think her name was, she got in trouble for saying some anti-black stuff about a sister from ESPN. And what ended up happening? The two prepaid bucks on the show, I want to say Kendrick Perkins is his name, and then the other guy is Stephen Jackson. Those two guys, those two prepaid bucks, all right, 7-foot bucks. What they do? They apologized for her. She was supposed to give an apology, and all she did was danced around that shit, basically saying she ain't give a fuck. And the two black men on the damn show apologized for her. Richard Jefferson, him too. All the brothers on the show apologized for the Karen. She didn't apologize for shit, even though she's the one who got caught on camera saying it. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? Because she was jealous that the sister got the job. I forget what that sister's name was. I think it was Maria Taylor. I think that's what it is, Maria Taylor. And Maria Taylor is gorgeous. Maria Taylor is far better anchor. Maria Taylor is far more articulate. Maria Taylor mopped the floor with that W woman all the way. And that W woman was jealous, said some anti-black shit, and all the brothers came in. As a matter of fact, I see more black men apologize for the W woman than W women apologize for the W woman. Prepaid bucks. You see what I'm talking about? They understand exactly how to cape. They understand exactly how to do some sucker shit, and that's exactly what the fuck they did. You see it all the time. All their job is to throw black folks under the bus and apologize for everybody else. Throw black folks under the bus and apologize for everybody else. You never see them come out and stand for us. You never see it. You already know what's going to happen. You see it all throughout the entertainment world. You see what happened with Will Smith. When the Will Smith situation came out, you had a lot of black folks out here saying, man, that's messed up. I'm scared. I'm scared to even do a comedy routine now. I don't know what to expect. Somebody's gonna hurt me. You feel what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying? Why you had all those W's coming out saying, oh my God, Will Smith is just the evilest person on earth. Will Smith is bad. They was talking about Will Smith same way they talking about Kyrie, same way they talking about Dave Chappelle. They was doing the same exact thing. Motherfucking matter of fact, you had W's coming out talking more bad about Will Smith than Chris Rock was, and Chris Rock is the one who got slapped. You feel me? How the fuck are they more upset and more scared than Chris Rock was? Chris Rock went on and continued doing shows. These motherfuckers was running around acting like they were so scared and terrified. They did the same exact thing because they always overinflate. The same way they overinflated Kyrie posting a link, or Dave Chappelle telling a joke, or the rapper DaBaby making a statement. The same way they overinflate those things so they can get the highest form of punishment for a black person is the same exact thing they did to Will Smith. Inflation. And I ain't just talking about the government. When it comes to a black person, they kick into full inflation. They'll make the smallest thing the biggest thing, and when it comes to somebody else, they make the biggest thing the smallest thing. That's why we right here at the New Black Media, we call this shit all the way out. We call it out before it happens, so when it happens, we already got receipts. And that's what I'm talking about. Matter of fact, can y'all imagine if the black grassroots wasn't here right now? Where would Kyrie be? What would they be doing to Kyrie Irving right now? I was at the Reparations rally where Kyrie's name came up and the whole crowd started chanting Kyrie Irving. You feel me? That's exactly what happened. Kyrie just took a picture with our brother Reza Islam. You feel me? This is what I'm talking about. This is what we're speaking on. What would happen if the black grassroots was not here for Kyrie Irving? What would they be doing to our brother? What would they be doing? I'm talking about all the black brothers and sisters out there. What would happen if the black grassroots was not present? If we weren't in the place? If we were silent? They'd be subjected to all of the bucks, all of the winches. They'd be out here selling this motherfucking game completely out. That's exactly what happens. So this is why the onus is on us, as I always speak about, to hold shit down and represent. Let me tell you something. Hold shit down, represent to the fullest, and maintaining and being strong, that is some of the most powerful things you could ever do. Don't ever let nobody tell you that sitting next to your brother and sister and riding for them and being on post isn't special. It takes a special person to do that. It takes a unique person to do that. And y'all know our lineage, our heritage, and our culture is the most special, the most unique, and the most powerful lineage on the planet. So we got to make sure we always ride. That's how we combat this counterintelligence. Y'all sit there and see somebody say some shit that we know ain't true. We see all the slander and they talk all these lies about our people. We got to go ahead and combat that. Look what's going on. Michael Jackson Man, where would Michael Jackson be if it wasn't for the black grassroots? They make a documentary about Michael Jackson all the time. They have slandered Michael Jackson from the cradle to beyond the grave. Every year, they're sitting here making documentaries about Michael Jackson. It's the same one over and over and over. It's always down in Michael Jackson. But who comes to his defense? The black grassroots. We're always here riding for Mike. If we were not here right now and the Oprahs and the Gayle Kings and all these suckers had control, man, they would take Mike and they would ruin him. But yet they put out things with Elvis. Look at the little Elvis movie that came out. And they praised it like it was the greatest thing ever. Jerry Lee Lewis just passed away. A lot of folks don't even know. Jerry Lee Lewis, Great Balls of Fire, trash music. He just passed away a few days ago. And if you look at any article written about him, it was these great praising articles. Jerry Lee Lewis had a fucking relationship with his niece. You feel me? No talk about that. This dude was living filthy lifestyle. But they praise him, but they downplay Mike. They do that with all of their celebrities. They'll praise them no matter how bad their lives were, no matter what the fuck they did, no matter what they were up to. They'll sit there and put these people up like they're godlike figures. But yet they'll take black folks who were clean, who were good and respected, and they'll run their names through the mud. They do it all the time. Y'all remember the comedian Eddie Griffin? Eddie Griffin did an interview not too long ago, a few years back, and he said, black men don't make it out the business clean. They don't make it out the business clean. They always have to put an asterisk by a black person, no matter what. They'll say, yeah, he was great, but yeah, he did this, but yeah, he was the greatest person in the genre, broke every single motherfucking record possible, every record known to man, but that's what they want to do, because if they cannot buck break you in life, they'll try to buck break you in death. That's why they'll wait until people are gone. I sat back and seen them turn Prince into a drug addict over a weekend. Everybody knows Prince was a well-respected guy. He was a clean guy, and he lived a great life. Everybody knows that. Prince was one of the most philanthropist people out there, helped everybody out. By all accounts, by every measure, by everybody who knew him, anybody who had contact with him, Prince was a well-respected, solid individual. Very solid, very cool. But yet, after Prince passed away, the news turned him into a drug addict over 2 days. Friday, Prince was a great man who lived a healthy lifestyle. By Monday, Prince was some type of fucking crack addict. That's what the fuck they did. You sat back and watched them do it. And then they put out all these little fucking statements, all these little hustles and scams and schemes that they always do. Same thing they're doing to our brothers and sisters today. They put all of that shit out in public, and next thing you know, they slandered that man. Slandered him. I had people saying, well, y'all know Prince was on drugs. No, the fuck he wasn't. Everybody who was close to Prince said that wasn't fucking true. But all of a sudden, they put it out there. Same thing they put on Michael Jackson. Same thing they put on James Brown. Y'all remember James Brown? What they do to James Brown? They said how he was psycho and he was fucking crazy. They would put out the worst mugshots. Did the same thing to Whitney Houston. You see Whitney Houston at a club one night. Before she passes away, she's partying. She's sweating because it's fucking hot in the club. What do they say? Oh, God, look at her high on drugs. Oh, she was so high, she was sweating. Not that there's 100 motherfuckers in the room and the temperature's 100 fucking degrees in here, like any fucking club. And you know how it is. Motherfuckers go out and they party, they start sweating, they get hot and their hair gets fucked up. But no, when Whitney Houston's doing it, she was high on crack that fucking night. Then she passes away and they say, oh, how disturbed Whitney was. And next thing you know, you got these bullshit bum fuck ass Whitney Houston movies coming out with non-FBA actresses running around. Family, they do this shit all the motherfucking time. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Ain't nothing new under the sun. That's why we call that shit out and we see it from a mile away. They did the same exact thing because black folks don't make it out of the business clean.
There is a systematic effort to destroy every black male entertainer's image. They want us all to have an actress by name. Kobe, Dr. Cosby. Nobody leaves this business clean. Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan gambled. You're not going to die clean.
That is exactly what it is. They bring up every little fucking thing they can find. Y'all know, I got an example right now. What happens every time a black person is harmed by a race soldier? What's the first thing they do on the news? They start talking about a bunch of nonsensical, irrelevant shit. Trayvon Martin skipped school when he was in kindergarten. Trayvon Martin got a bad grade. Breonna Taylor was hanging out with a drug dealer. Sandra Bland made some pro-black Facebook tweets. Eric Gardner was overweight. He had an eating problem. George Floyd was on fentanyl. Alta Sterling was selling CDs. Tamir Rice had a toy gun that looked real. Isn't that the same exact thing they do to all the celebrities? Isn't that just another form of buck breaking? As we say, if they cannot get you in life, they will get you in death. It's the same exact play. What's any different from them talking about Breonna Taylor, Eric Gardner, Alta Sterling, Tamir Rice, as them talking about Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Prince, so on and so forth? Anybody remember just a few years ago? That W lady, Serena Outro was her name. She did the first interview after Tupac got out of jail. All right, when Tupac got out of jail in 95, he did an interview. I think he was walking down like Sunset or something in California. That lady waited fucking 25 years and said, oh, you know, Tupac was staring at me the whole time. And you know, he had got out of jail for rape, so I was scared. You see what I'm talking about? This is why we have to protect our legends. That's why we have to protect their legacies. Everybody's under attack when you're dealing with foundational black Americans. You're talking about our ancestors who built this country. They're under attack because they take the tangibles for our ancestors and give them to everybody else. So we got to protect that. We got to protect each other right now. We got to protect the Dave Chappelles. We got to protect the Kyrie Irvings. We got to protect each other because they're going to come and they're going to slander us. They do the same exact thing to black folks who have been harmed by race soldiers. They have no shame in it. They come to get it all. Remember, they don't just come for the one. They don't just come for the two. They don't understand individuals. Any attack upon an individual is so they can have an attack on the collective later on. Oh, trust and believe me, fam. The same way we see them attack one individual celebrity, eventually their plan is to attack all of us on the same exact excuse. And the end game for all of that is some type of federal legislation to lock up black people. That's exactly what it is. So when somebody says, man, that's just one celebrity, that's just one person, that's exactly where the fuck it starts. We seen it start off with one celebrity, then they pull in two. They take two to pull in three. Three pulls in 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The baby says some shit, everybody gets mad at the baby. Dave Chappelle makes a joke about it, next thing you know, they done wrapped himself in the shit. Kanye West says some shit, next thing you know, they wrap in Kyrie. And then Dave Chappelle says something about Kyrie and Kanye, now they wrap his ass in it. That's exactly what happens, and the next thing is, they wrap the whole fucking community in it. Anybody who doesn't believe me, go back to 1994 in the crime bill that Joe Biden wrote. Joe Biden wrote that crime bill based upon a bunch of propaganda about rap music. They used rap music so they can write the 1994 crime bill. They were out there in the middle of the streets, breaking fucking CDs, slamming them. They was having protests, talking about stop the violence, how bad rap music was, how it was poisoning the brains of young black folks, and they used that shit, coming after the Snoop Dogs, coming after the Tupacs, coming after the Dr. Dre's. They used all of that shit so they can write the 1994 crime bill. They did that shit on purpose, and they pushed it right on through. Eventually, with all these rappers out here getting harmed, they're gonna eventually use that. Because that's why motherfuckers need to quit running around here talking about we needs to do better. Every time a motherfucker says we needs to do better and we needs to act right based upon some shit that's going on with a rapper, they're listening. And eventually they're gonna say this rapper passed, this rapper passed, and this rapper passed. Y'all see how violent black folks is? And since they so violent, they want a crime bill. Hey, let's write a crime bill to protect them. And the next thing you know, they splitting the black family up already more times than they already fucking have. So be real cautious with these we needs to do better motherfuckers. Quit letting one fucking rapper influence you to think the whole goddamn community's out to get each other. All right? Just because rapper A harmed rapper B, that don't mean that our grandmothers are out here gangbanging. This is what motherfuckers be thinking. Motherfuckers think just because a rapper gets harmed, it's a reflection of the whole fucking community. All right, your grandma and my grandma ain't gonna do a drive-by tonight because what went on at the goddamn hip-hop awards. Knock that shit off. And I tell brothers and sisters, quit that shit. You don't see these other motherfuckers running around here talking about the cartels is a reflection of their whole community and how they needs to do better. You don't hear them talking about Jeffrey Dahmer and how they needs to do better as a community. Black folks will take a rapper that ain't even fucking platinum and say how we needs to do better because these motherfuckers got into a fist fight. That don't reflect upon us. And remember, they're going to use every single thing at their disposal to get legislation against us, to have black folks harmed, to have black folks locked up. They're going to use hip hop music, and they're going to use every last we needs to do better person out here. Quit judging the whole greater community based upon the lowest denominator. Folks was running around here saying how we needs to do better and we hate each other. All that is the black version of saying what about black on black crime. W say what about black on black crime? Black folks say we needs to do better. You wouldn't even be saying how we needs to do better unless you believed that black on black crime myth that the dominant society told you. Anybody running around here saying we need to do better basically means that they're infected with a slave mentality. Master told you that we got some type of crime problem. We're the most violent people in the world. We're these evil people. And now your ass run around here and say how we needs to do better. We needs to do better is just the black version of what about black on black crime. That's why I don't never say that shit. I say no, he need to do better. She need to do better. I understand the difference between the we's, the they's, and then the us. So when black folks is running around here talking about we needs to do better and we need to all get along and we need to stop the crime problem, we just went to the reparations rally a few days later and there was nothing but love. But you ain't hear nobody talking about how better that was. You didn't hear nobody talking about all the love there. How the fuck can you run around here and talk about what goes on with rappers and you want to indict our whole fucking community, but yet when you see things like black folks graduating, don't nobody talk about doing better there. When you start talking about black folks achieving in the innovative world, no one talks about we do better there. When you talk about our reparations rallies where foundational black Americans are permeating certified energy, don't none of them we needs to do better motherfuckers talk then. If you gonna talk when some shit happens with a rapper, when you gonna talk about some shit that went on in the hood, talk when black folks is out here achieving, when black folks are out here succeeding, and we do that every single day. We don't sit here and run around a bunch of negative energy without promoting the positive energy, and there's so much positive energy that could be spoke of, but motherfuckers rather talk around that and only talk about the negative, and guess who else is doing that? The dominant society is doing the same thing. So I don't respect black folks who run around here and say how we needs to do better, because that's basically saying that they believe that black folks have a crime problem. And guess who told them that? Guess who put that in their brain? Guess who implanted that thought in their head? Yes, the dominant society. Yes, supremacy did. And that's exactly where it starts. Once they can get you to believe that just because this rapper and this rapper had a conflict that we're all violent, they got you stuck. And then they roll out the crime bill, the new crime bill, the 2.0 crime bill. Trust and believe. All of this buck breaking going on, all of this targeting of black celebrities, that all ends with them getting federal legislation that locks up everybody. That comes with your crime bill 2.0. Trust and believe when I tell you that shit. And how do you know? And since we got receipts right here on the Black Alpha Network, we ain't just gonna say something. We gonna say it, we gonna connect the dots, and we gonna draw parallels between it to where it is undeniable. Every single time they target a celebrity, for whatever reason they target, because it's always this black celebrity is anti this, or this black celebrity is anti that. That's what they do. What follows all of that? They always make this claim about Dave Chappelle, Kyrie Irving, DaBaby, Bill Cosby, and then come all the articles that talk about how this is not just that individual, it's a reflection of the black community. Yes, they use all of these celebrity targetings as a weapon against the black community, and they say it's a reflection of all of us. I've seen them talk about what Dave Chappelle did, and then I've seen articles where they didn't even mention Dave Chappelle, they mentioned all of us. I've seen them talk about Kyrie Irving, and then next thing you know, I see articles that don't even mention Kyrie anymore. Now they're talking about all of us. When DaBaby had his little situation, next thing you know, that went from what the rapper DaBaby said on stage to how evil foundational black Americans are. Bill Cosby, when Bill Cosby had those situations going on with him, what's the next motherfucking thing they did? They said, let's talk about the problem with black men's. Let's talk about all the hatred that goes on in the black community. How many times have y'all seen an article where they say things like, we need to address all of the hatred that the black community has towards this group? Or we need to have a conversation about why black people hate this group over here so much. And the shit was so out of left field, it was blindsiding black folks. Black folks was like, when the fuck did we have these conversations amongst ourselves hating these folks? They actually act like we have family reunions and cookouts where we sit down and say, man, y'all stay away from that group now. That group over there is bad. We don't sit at the fucking dinner table and have conversations about why we can't stand other groups. That's what they do to us. And everybody is projecting their anti-blackness on us and saying that we do it to them. What's the first thing a motherfucker do when you got him against the wall? What's the first thing a motherfucker does when you call him out? They say, you do it too. Ain't that what they say? That's exactly what the whole fucking world's saying. They're saying FBA does it too, because they understand that since we done got on code, we started calling their ass out for every fucking thing they've done to us. And when they ain't got nothing else to say, they got no fucking receipts, only thing they do is point the finger at us. It's called projection. So now they're taking everything that they've said about our community and they're trying to say that we've been saying it about their community. You understand where I'm coming from? That's exactly the game that these motherfuckers have been playing. And black folks are sitting there saying, we don't sit at the fucking dinner table talking about these groups. I promise y'all, and I know y'all agree with me 115%. Half these people that they say the black community is anti, we don't even fucking talk about them. They never even come up. These folks never come up in our day. We are FBA to the core. We stay in our own lane, mind our own business. I got to meet Dr. Kaba. Yes, salute to Dr. Kaba. I got to meet Dr. Kaba at the Reparations rally. And he said something a long time ago that I've always lived by. He said, our only problem is that you got a problem. That's what he always says. FBA, Foundational Black Americans, our only problem is everyone has a problem with us. Meaning, if they did not have a problem with us, we wouldn't even know who the fuck they are. Half the times, we still don't know who the fuck they are. So this little notion that black people are 5 years old and getting told by their parents to stay away from these other communities, that's a motherfucking lie. That's what they're doing to us. That's why you see people from the other communities, 5, 6 years old, already practicing anti-blackness. We're not practicing anti-anybody at 5. You got black folks at 25 who still think we are the fucking world. How are we the most we are the world, get along with everybody, fight everybody else's battles, think that there's these coalitions that don't even exist, always want to throw our arm around somebody and be somebody's friend? How the fuck can we be the most buddy complex, happy motherfuckers, but at the same time be the community that's practicing anti this and anti that? I call bullshit. And in reality, it's people who've been hating us the whole time. And now they know that we done called them out. So they're saying, it's really FBA's fault. That's what it is. It's really FBA's fault, crowd. That's what everybody's fucking doing. Look at the diaspora. The diaspora comes over here and they basically have all these fucking terms for us, say all these outrageous things about us, and then they say that we do it to them. That's what motherfuckers do. That's the play nowadays. Everybody that we've called out, they try to call us out. Brother Malcolm X spoke about that. He said the first thing someone does when they're guilty, they accuse their accuser. You feel me? That comes from the dominant society. Y'all remember a few years ago when they used to say reverse racism? What was reverse racism? That was basically the dominant society projecting all their hatred onto us and accusing their accuser. You feel me? Anytime somebody's name is dirty in these streets and it's filthy as fuck and they ain't got nothing to stand on and they got a history of anti-blackness, then they just start saying, well, the blacks have been mean to us. And that allows them to get away with shit for an extra 20, 30 fucking years. You feel me? That's exactly what's been going on, and that's what's happening right now. So every time they come after a celebrity, they start writing these little articles about how black folks really have a problem. What they be saying, y'all seen it every time. Every single artist, every single celebrity that's had to apologize, you start seeing these articles saying, we need to confront hatred in the black community. It ain't hatred from the black community, it's hatred on the black community. So family, they always use these type of major publications and these public figures as a catalyst, as a proxy to come down on us. Understand what's going on with Kyrie Irving is a proxy against all black men. And anything that's a proxy against a black man and a black woman is a proxy against the whole black family. Trust and believe. It starts with one celebrity, then it turns into all of us, then it turns into a law, then it turns into a crime bill. Trust and believe me when I tell you that shit. So to tie all of that in together, that's exactly what buck breaking was. Buck breaking wasn't about that one slave. No, they used that one slave as a proxy to everybody else to put out the notion that this could be you. Watch what you do now. This is what it is to try to humiliate a black man, to try to humiliate a black woman. It's to prevent the warrior class from rising up. You feel me? This is what they want to do. When you start talking about the celebrities, you start talking about the Princes, the Michael Jacksons, the Whitney Houstons, y'all notice that y'all hear their music everywhere now? Michael Jackson's music was not everywhere. Prince was notorious for not having his music on the internet. Now you see their music on fucking Walmart commercials. I mean, everywhere you turn. How many times you done heard Whitney Houston on a commercial? You hearing Prince on commercials. It's all over the internet because the money that they generated, the finances that they generated, and the intellectual properties that they created don't belong to their estates anymore. Not anymore. They've come back and they stole it. All of the catalogs that Michael Jackson attained don't belong to the Jackson estate no more. It belongs to somebody else. It went back to the same community that he bought them from. Same with Prince. All of the music that Prince made, and anybody who knows Prince, they said he has enough music that were found in his vaults, his estate in Minnesota, to put out albums for the next 100 years. Not singles, not songs, albums. The man had a studio. He worked year round in his studio, put out his own music. Everything that you see right now in the music industry all comes from Prince. All that shit, all the independent artists out here who jumped over the record labels, don't deal with record executives and put out music on their own. Man, Prince is doing that shit in the 1990s. And they consider him what? Rogue. They consider him what? A rebel. Same thing I was just talking about with Kyrie Irving, where they don't look at Kyrie Irving as a go along to get along. They don't look at Kyrie Irving as a prepaid book. They look at him as a rebel who does not do what they tell him to do, so they come at him so hard. They did the same exact thing to Prince. Prince said, fuck the music industry, fuck music execs. I don't need no fucking record label. I'm going to distribute and put out music on my own. And what happened? He put out music on his own and he was selling millions of copies. And then the RIAA, which stands for the Recording Industry Association of America, they just said we're not going to acknowledge it because he was not doing it the same way of the system. The same way they will not acknowledge Dave Chappelle, same way they won't acknowledge Kyrie Irving. It's the same exact thing. Same way they took everything away from Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby got his show took away from him. And I'm not just talking about the show while he was doing it. Obviously he wasn't doing it anymore. They took the show off of television. You feel me? And they said, we're going to go back in time and get you for everything that you done in the past. When we loved you and you were Dr. Huxtable and we was trying to put you in front of black folks so you can go along and tell black folks to be nice to each other, tell black folks to pick up their pants, oh, they loved them then. But soon as they got Bill Cosby for what they wanted to get him on, when they went back in their time machine and got Bill Cosby, they said, let's erase his history. Same way they want to erase Prince's history. Same way they want to erase Michael Jackson's history. And every single day, they have the notion of how can we erase these folks? How can we tell a different story? How can we spin all of their accomplishments? Like Eddie Griffin said, you do not make it out the industry clean. If they do not buck break you when you're around and you do not go for that shit and you tell them no, like Prince said, no, fuck y'all, they'll get him after he's gone. When Michael Jackson said, fuck y'all, they said, cool, we'll get him after he's gone. Let's make 100 documentaries and just smear this man. And that's why you see him every single year. There's a new one that comes out. It's a big ass play, family. And speaking of that, when we speak of apologies and we talk about going back in time, understand that when it comes to black folks, they will get in a fucking time machine and make you apologize for some shit you did as a child. Look at Kevin Hart. I don't even fuck with Kevin Hart like that. Kevin Hart is the most non-threatening Negro out there. All he does is tap dance for the dominant society, and they came after his ass. They made Kevin Hart re-apologize. He apologized for some shit he said in a stand-up comedy routine. And then they went to him and said, no, you need to re-apologize. And it just so happened to be the same month that he was about to host the Oscars, and they took that away from him. Kevin Hart, the most non-threatening Negro, has no black consciousness out there at all. I'm sorry, I just don't see it from dude. You feel me? They came after him and told him, apologize. He said, I already did. They said, well, do it again. They don't want your fucking apology. I'm telling you, your apology don't mean shit. It's about public humiliation. They went after him. You guys remember a few years ago when they tried to go after Eddie Murphy for one of his comedy sketches back in the 1980s? They said, well, you know, Eddie, in the 1980s, you said this, this, and this, so apologize for it in the 2020s. Whoa. They tried to make Eddie Murphy apologize for something he said in the 1980s in a comedy routine in the 2020s. So either you're going to get the big stories or you're going to get a bunch of the small ones. Bill Cosby, everybody knows. Bill Cosby, they went back and broke every fucking statute of limitation. We all know about statute of limitations, but when it came to Bill Cosby, they just said, no such thing as a statute of limitation. Fuck it. And they just overrode it like it doesn't even exist. This is what we talk about. They'll bend the law any which way they can to get a black man or black woman. But everybody else, they say, letter to the law, we got to follow the rules and help them out now. Have y'all ever seen them go back in time and find any W or anybody from any community that has ever said anything anti-black and made them apologize or re-apologize? You ain't never seen them go to anybody else from any other community, go back to the 80s, go back to the 90s, go back to the 70s and say apologize for what you said when you was 15 years old. They ain't never did that shit. But with black folks, they'll go all the way back in fucking time. All the way back in time. They'll never do this with any other community. Shit, they won't make these motherfuckers apologize off of some shit they said 3 weeks ago. But a black man will have to apologize for some shit he said 30 years ago. And then his first apology ain't enough. His second apology ain't enough. And when the fuck does it get to the point where you realize it was never about apologies? I said this on Twitter. I put out a tweet and it did about 4,000 likes. It said, if you say something, stand on it. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Don't apologize to somebody who doesn't really want your apology. You feel me? Don't do that. Don't ever fucking do that. Never jeopardize your own principle because a motherfucker wants to embarrass you. That ain't how the game works. Stand on 10, stick your chest out, and say that shit like you mean that shit. That's what real certifieds do. We say what we mean what we say. And if a motherfucker don't like it, fuck them. Because when I look around, everybody has something bad to say about foundational black Americans. Everybody hates on us. Everybody projects on us. Everybody's got some type of spite or vitriol for us. So therefore, the same person who has spite and vitriol for us, we're not going to tuck our tail between our legs and accommodate them. All right? Nobody wants to accommodate us with justice. Nobody wants to accommodate us with reparations. Nobody wants to accommodate us with tangibles. Nobody wants to accommodate us with resources. Well, if you ain't going to accommodate us with any of that, then I ain't accommodating you for a motherfucking thing. FBA, all day, certified black society. Take it how the fuck you want to take it, but we're going to stand strong and let it be known. Let it be known. Now look right now, they're trying to, the ADL, they're trying to protest Dave Chappelle. You already know what it was. Put it this way, when we talk about no apologies, Kyrie Irving tried to donate money to these people. They say he got to donate some money to an organization. He tried to donate some money to the organization. They said they ain't want the money. So the man tried to donate money and say, here, okay, I don't feel I did wrong. But if I hurt you, if I made you feel bad, let me donate some money to you. We ain't talking about $12. We ain't talking about some turkeys on Thanksgiving. He said, let me donate some money to you to let you know that I understand where you're coming from. They said, fuck your money. We don't want it. That lets you know that they ain't here for something sincere. They don't want your apologies with words. They're gonna tell you they do. They don't want your fucking donations. They're gonna tell you they do. There's nothing you can do to appease people. You shouldn't be trying to appease people in the first fucking place. You shouldn't be able to appease people. If you say what you say and somebody does not like it, and if you cannot sit down and explain yourself in a just manner, if you cannot make a decent gesture like Kyrie did and they still don't like it, then they never wanted it. And you shouldn't give them any opportunity or provide them any type of favor in the first fucking place. That's what it is. I don't know about anybody else, but if I do something wrong, if I step on somebody's shoe, I cut somebody off in traffic, and if I can't sit down and tell this person eye to eye, man to man, hey, I apologize, I didn't mean to do that, sorry for the harm I may cause. And if they reject that, then fuck them, middle fingers to their face. That's just how the game's gonna go. We're not gonna sit here and play no games. You're not gonna demean me. You're not gonna demean me. You're not gonna make me crawl like a baby, and that's what they really want. That is the root of buck breaking. They wanna take a grown ass black man or woman and reduce them to a fucking child. We already get talked about like we somebody's property in the first fucking place. Look at politics. Politics will go around, spit in our face, tell us that what we see, we just can't really comprehend. And if we don't like the Democratic Party or the Republican Party or whatever fucking party, it's because we're really just not smart enough to understand. Everybody talks to black folks like this. This is the root of buck breaking. So how do you break that shit? You tell them, I said what I said, meant what I meant. If you don't like it, fuck off. That's how the game goes. That's how the game goes. So imagine this. Kyrie Irving is basically out here being bullied. He's being bullied, and they're defaming him. They're trying to take his name and all the things that Kyrie Irving's done. No one ever speaks about that, all right? Everybody's running around right now talking about feminism. They're out here talking about the WNBA. Do you know Kyrie Irving was out there giving money to the WNBA? Nobody talks about that. The same people who are running around here all day long talking about black men's is the most misogynistic folks on the earth. They're running around here talking about something. How come we don't get paid? Us as women. All that Roe versus Wade shit. When they was talking about women's rights, they don't ever talk about how Kyrie Irving supported the WNBA and gave them money. You know why? Because who to give money to? The WNBA. What is WNBA mostly? Black women. So you see again, feminism goes as far as color. Soon as you get to black women, all of a sudden, no more feminism. And then they overlook all of that just so they can bring down our brother Kyrie. Not to mention a bunch of other things that Kyrie Irving has done. This is basically a stand-up guy. The guy has really done nothing wrong other than piss a couple people off based on him not being a prepaid buck. Well, if not being a prepaid buck pisses people off, then keep them motherfuckers mad. That means you on your job. That means you are on your job. So when he tried to give money to these folks, they said, nah, we don't want it. We don't want it. Nah, just keep your money. Well, then fuck it. I'm going to keep my money. I'll take that goddamn money and go give it to some black folks. How about that? That's how you play the game. That's how the game is played. That's how we on it. Now, let me get to Shannon Sharp. Mr. Skip. Is it Skip? Let me get to his ass.
I said the reason why, Skip, I said, now, when they start asking Kyrie questions, he's going to double down.
I got it.
And he didn't, after practice, what did he do? He doubled down.
He did.
And I'm listening to him like, bruh. And then Adam Silver came out shortly before that and says, I didn't hear I'm sorry. What I said yesterday, I said, Skip, I'm looking at his statement. Where's the I'm sorry? No, I'm sorry. The Brooklyn Nets says, whoa, we've had enough. Say, we've given you an opportunity to say I'm sorry and to unequivocally disavow. So we're going to suspend you for a minimum of 5 games. Skip, I think for the first time, Kyrie allowed someone in the room to be smarter than he was. And they said, Kyrie, this is for real now. They're not playing with you.
Brothers and sisters was calling him out for basically all that tap dancing and buckaroo he been doing on TV. And what does he do? He comes out and says, well, I'll just stand alone then. You know these I'm a coon and I'm proud. That's what these motherfuckers be. They be so comfortable in cooning that they'll say, well, I'm just gonna do what I want to do. I won't defend anybody. See, ain't nobody talking about you got to bend over backwards just to accommodate somebody because they black. What we talking about is when black folks is on code and doing well, you better show them the proper etiquette, and that's not what they do. So we got to stop these I'm so happy to be a coon, I'm just going to do what I want to do. I put out a meme one time and it was about Betty White. And I said, if you out here shedding tears for Betty White, but you ain't shedding no tears for Cicely Tyson or Sidney Poitier, then you ain't black. Do y'all know I had motherfuckers in the comment section saying, well, I ain't black then. And I said, well, I guess you ain't black then, motherfucker. That's what it is. That's how you deal with these people. All that, well, I guess I ain't black. Or I guess I ain't on code then. Or I guess I'm a coon. Well, I guess you all coon. I guess you ain't black. I guess you off code. And I guess you can get the fuck out of here. And we'll boot your ass across the street. That's how we do it. You think you gonna come around us and be like, I guess I ain't black, I guess I'm a coon, and then still come to the goddamn cookout and say, let me get a plate. Nope, you ain't welcome. If you think you gonna say, I guess I ain't black, I guess I'm a coon, and then you gonna come to the round table and talk with all the brothers and sisters. No, the fuck you ain't. If you come around here and say, I guess I ain't black, I'm a coon, and think your voice matters, think that you matter, think anything you say matters, and think that you can step through that FBA certified house door, you got another motherfucking thing coming. You ain't stepping through the door, you getting ran off the fucking block. And that's how you enforce things, and that's how you hold it down. We must enforce the code, because if you do not enforce the code, then you ain't got a code. And the first thing you do is you highlight all of these prepaid bucks, all these I guess I'm a coon, you run their asses clean the fuck off the block. And if you run them off the block enough, they'll know not to come around this motherfucker. That's how you strip away anything that they believe that they have going. You feel me? And what's the next step for them? They're gonna be racially homeless. You done came around the foundational Black American society talking that bullshit, we ran you off the block. The dominant society uses their tools and then they break them and then they ran you off the block. So I guess the only place your ass got to go is that dumpster over there with your little motherfucking TP, and you can lay down over there because that's where the fuck it's gonna be. This is our house. We will protect this house. We will stay on code 24/7, 365, and anybody who is off brand will get their ass G-checked and G-checked until your ass is out the fucking pain. That's how we do it. Shannon, skip his ass too. And speaking of this, everybody's so upset at Kyrie Irving. Y'all notice ain't nobody said shit about Amazon? Ain't still said nothing about Amazon. We've been calling it. Everybody's waving the flag. Like I said, you know what time it is. Amazon is out here profiting off the same movie. How the fuck can you get mad at Kyrie Irving for posting a link, but you ain't got mad at Amazon for selling the goddamn product? You see what I'm talking about? Same way you ain't get mad at Shaq for showing it in the theaters. This has nothing to do with facts. This has nothing to do with their emotions. This has nothing to do with anybody being hurt. How do you know they're not really hurt? How do you know this didn't hurt anybody's feelings? It's because they are still going after the black man who they believe is not tap dancing. This has everything to do with the prepaid buck. He's not bucking. If it was seriously about their feelings and their emotions, they get mad at anybody who's representing the movie. The fact that they're skipping over all of these organizations, the fact that they're skipping over people who have done way more than Kyrie, have way more invested than him, and they're pointing out the one black guy. That lets you know it's about bullshit. So when we say it's about bullshit, we can point out the bullshit, and it's clean to see the bullshit, and anybody who doesn't know it's bullshit is on some bullshit. And we gonna call all the motherfuckers out at the same damn time. Ain't got nothing to do with Kyrie Irving. If you was really that mad about the situation, you'd be mad at these corporations and these organizations who are profiting off it, opposed to the black man. What it really is, you mad at the black man because he ain't playing your fucking games. The same way you're mad at all the black men and women that we have named that don't play your games. Well, guess what? You're gonna be some mad motherfuckers because we own it. Own it like a motherfucker too. And that's what it is when you on code. See, now we're on code. None of that shit they doing is working. None of that shit they're doing is working. Like I said, imagine if the black grassroots wasn't here. They be trying to run our brother through the ringer. They can't do that right now because we're out here providing counterintelligence. If they say this, we say, nope, that ain't true. If they run a lie, we say bullshit. If they come at us with some type of scheme or try to fake it and act like their feelings is hurt, we like, nah, fuck that. You're not going to reverse things on us. You're not going to flip things on us. That's what happens when you deal with certified black society. The certifieds is running shit. Just like everything. When we talk about the political world, they can't game us. When we start talking about all the hustle and cons, they can't game us. So you're not going to game us with this, oh, it's the blacks' fault. Oh, please apologize. All that buck breaking shit, it ain't popping like it used to. No, as I said earlier, everything is going down. We dropping every fucking thing that isn't in order. If you coming at us on some shit that's sporadic or anything that's off code or off brand, we calling that shit out. We G-checking that shit on site, on spot. What they say? Fuck around and find out. These motherfuckers done fucked around and now they finding out. We stronger than ever. We in the building. We in the place. This is a certified time. This is our era. You ain't just gonna get off on no bullshit. You think you gonna work us, game us, con us, or hustle us, thinking shit sweet, you gonna find out that it ain't. And when certifieds are in the vicinity, the whole game changes. The whole game. So as we sit here and see how they're trying to hustle our brother Kyrie Irving. Right now, look at the Nike deal, by the way. Look at Nike. Nike talking about we're going to end our relationship with him over a link. Once again, we called that shit out. And now we're saying, well, fuck Nike. We'll boycott Nike. We'll take away all your money. We made Nike. Nike was made off of our backs, off of our money. So if Nike wants to play that game, then we could play this motherfucking game all day long. Let's do it. Let's get it popping. All right, we'll take all of our money away from Nike, and I guarantee you they'll come back. They'll come back on some goddamn, wait 1 minute now. Wait, well, let's talk about this shit. No, ain't nothing to talk about. Ain't nothing to talk about. If y'all on that shit, we gonna call it out for whatever the fuck it is. That's what happens when you certify. That's what happens with the real black grassroots. All of that buck breaking shit is falling back on them, and they can't do what they thought they were able to do. Now, let me talk about Kyrie for another reason. Kyrie, if I was him, I'd sue the Nets. I'd sue the NBA for violating his religious freedom. Yes. These motherfuckers owe him a straight up apology. Straight up, he should say, these are my demands. Fuck your demands, here are my demands. They already owe Kyrie money anyway. They owe Kyrie money for taking away a lot of his playing time from a year ago. As a matter of fact, Kyrie met with the owner of the Nets, Joe Tassi or whatever name. I don't even know dude's name. But they met with him. Kyrie's family and that guy's family. And at first he was talking this shit about, Kyrie can't come back until he's fully sorry. That type of shit. Like this is the fucking 3rd grade and you got sent to the principal's office. You feel me? That's the shit they was on. But now, after Kyrie met with them, now they're talking about, well, I do believe Kyrie's a good guy. You know why? Because Kyrie probably put some money on the table because he's not a dumb brother at all. He probably said, well, here's the game. Y'all owe me money, y'all owe me finances, and it ain't gonna go down when you just suspend me and the shit disappears. What's up? Run them checks. So now you're starting to see the game flip and they're starting to lightweight sing a different tone. Y'all notice after Minister Farrakhan came out and he said what he said, and salute. Brother Farrakhan came out and he started talking that real shit. Now all these little prepaid bucks, they're kind of trying to walk back their statements and be like, well, what we said about Kyrie, we kind of sort of meant it. We didn't mean it like that though. Nah, run that shit back. Because they wanted to straddle the fence. They want to talk that bullshit. They want to bring it back, but they can't do that no more. They can't do that because the ball is in our court. And Kyrie understands he's got an army behind him. All right. And that is certified foundational Black Americans. You dig? This ain't like the past. I'm telling you, when the game is changed, motherfuckers got to change right along with it. So as they sit here and they say these things, I think the guy from Nike, he said Kyrie stepped over the line and it's that simple. He made some statements that we just can't abide by. What statements? He didn't say nothing. He posted a link. That's what I'm talking about. He's just lying. The motherfucker's just lying. Kyrie made some statements we don't agree with. Kyrie didn't make any fucking statements. So you see how they can just lie. And don't get it twisted. That Phil Knight guy from Nike, yeah, he was supporting all those people behind the Penn State scandal. Go Google the Penn State scandal, and I'm not even gonna say what the fuck it was. Go Google it for yourself and come to find out that the Phil Knight guy who runs Nike, he was the main person sitting there supporting some of those characters, some of those criminals in the Penn State scandal. So he was cool with all the dirty shit that was going on at Penn State, but he got a problem with Kyrie Irving. You feel what I'm saying? So this is why they want to end the relationship with him and Nike. But guarantee you, go ahead and do that and you're going to find the fuck out. Fuck around and find out. Go ahead and see if Nike stocks and their shares and their finances don't go down. Because we'll pull right on back from it. Because the black grassroots is here to stay. Anybody who thinks this shit's going to be like the past, you got another motherfucking thing coming. We're going to come with it and we're going to bring that shit. That's what's going on. Oh, by the way, what's the actress name? Jennifer Lewis. She was going around talking about Kanye needs to shut up because she out there tap dancing. And remember, y'all, she was out there talking about how she had an affair with the W actor John Voight, and now she's running around talking all types of crazy shit. She needs to sit her silly ass down as well.
Sick of Kanye. I was sick of him before he did all this mess. I don't care what he's dealing with. Shut your mouth. You go sit down somewhere. All the kids that look up to his ass. Hey, Kanye, I'm famous too. Not as famous as you. That does not excuse you from doing what you should.
Y'all think she'll talk like that to a W? You think she'll tell a W to shut their goddamn mouth? Or say, I'm just as famous as you, and you need to do what you need to do? You see how she's talking down to him the same way the dominant society talks down to him. At the end of the day, that does not negate the fact that all these prepaid bucks and prepaid wenches are doing their prepaid buck and wench job of talking down to another brother the same way the dominant society talks down to them. But this is what happens. So when you talk about prepaid bucks, you also have prepaid wenches. And the prepaid wenches, Jamel Hills and all them other world, they like to come out and write slander about black folks. They like to throw other black folks under the bus the same way the bucks do. It's the same type of game. It's the same type of hustle. It's the same type of con. But we ready for it. We understand it and we know it's coming. And once we know it's coming, you already know how to handle it. The same way. Now I know y'all seen Kanye out there saying they can't control me. They can't control me. They can control Beyonce and Charles Barkley. That's the shit. Kanye don't know how to accept help. You feel me? Brother Farrakhan came out and stuck up for him and he said, Farrakhan slighted me. Kanye is on the island all by himself.
Can't control you. They can't. They try to suppress you, but that's how they try to categorize.
They can't control me. You get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me. You see, it ain't no name I won't name. It's up.
Not you.
You know what I'm saying? And just for Minister Farrakhan, I love you. But the way you read that, I took that as a slight. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking no disrespect from nobody. So let's get on the phone and let's talk that out. I don't care who you are. I ain't taking no slice from nobody.
There go Kanye. Kanye saying all these names and Kanye speaking on all these things. And even if Kanye says some things here or there that is true, remember, Kanye, you was trolling and you was all W's matter. That's what it was. So when you get to that point and when the minister comes out and tries to help you and you say you feel slighted, I didn't take that as a slight. I didn't at all. I see the minister not only with what he said, but how he said it, was he was trying to lend you a helping hand, as well as a lot of black folks was trying to lend you a helping hand. Our brother Tariq Nasheed, a lot of the certifieds out there were telling Kanye on some tough love shit, hey bro, we hear what you saying, but let's just do it this way. But remember, Kanye wanted to do the Candace Owens way. So you and Candace Owens can do it your own goddamn way. And certifieds, we're going to attend to certified business because that's the way things are done. Moving on. As we sit here and speak about foundational black Americans and the things that we say and everybody's got a problem with it, isn't it funny how nobody respects Kyrie's decision, but everybody told us to respect Lil Nas X's decision? Yeah. Now look at Lil Nas X. All the grimy ass shit he was doing in his videos. Y'all know what the fuck it was. We seen, I don't even want to mention that filthy shit. But y'all seen all the shit he was doing and everybody was saying, oh, respect his decision. Here's Kyrie, who just stood on a principle. Once again, Kyrie didn't even say anything. He didn't even say nothing. He said no words. He just posted a link and everybody says, oh, it's so bad what he stood on. But we need to all bow down to what Lil Nas X stands on. And I don't even want to talk about what the fuck he stand on. You notice that though? You see the difference? Kyrie comes out, stands on his principle, it's a bad thing. Lil Nas X comes out and tries to push an agenda on everybody and they tell us how it's such a good thing. That's the flip-flop again. That's the double-sided. That's the contradiction. Oh, by the way, there's a movie called Jazz Singer, and that movie is sold on Amazon. It's one of the most anti-black movies out there. Anti-black as fuck. And they've never took that movie down. So keep that in mind as well. So when you have all these folks coming out here talking about how bad Kyrie Irving is and some of the things that Kyrie Irving stands on is so bad, I don't see them getting rid of anything that's anti-black that's right there, right now on their platforms. So we got to keep all that shit in mind. And we taking notes and we taking names and we taking numbers. And anybody who's off code or about that bullshit, we calling them the fuck out. This is not the past. This is right here, right now. Certified Black Society ain't allowing motherfuckers to get off on us, not letting nobody try to game us or reduce us to motherfucking kids. That ain't the motherfucking business, bruh. I'll tell you what the business is. The business is us taking care of our business. And if that hurts motherfuckers' feelings, somebody tries to inflate it, someone wants to play foul or act like what we doing is so bad to them, they just gonna have to suck that shit up and keep it moving. I'm gonna tell you like everybody tells us, get over it. How about that? Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Everybody else gets told, oh no, stand strong, stand together, stand up. But when we say something, they say get over it. Well, guess what? It's a new day, it's a new time, and it's a new era. Now, foundational black Americans are telling everybody else who's mad, y'all get over it. Because we're going to do what the fuck we do and we're going to continue to do it. So all that buck breaking has backfired. And it ain't working the way they thought it was going to work. They thought they was just going to go around and cancel black folks. And we was just going to sit here and say, that is true now. They wanted a whole community of prepaid bucks. But the very fact that we're labeling the prepaid bucks and calling they ass out and running they ass off the fucking screen, that lets you know that it is a new time and a new era. I'm telling you, everything we do now is fresh. Everything we do now is a game changer. We're not sitting back, falling back, and just letting motherfuckers do what they feel like doing. No, we doing what we feel like doing, and they're gonna have to catch up to our speed. But good luck on that one because we moving too goddamn quick. Guarantee you. So they can bring out anybody they want to bring out. They brought out Jim Brown, the football player. And he was out here talking about, it's wrong what y'all doing now. And you know, much respect to Jim Brown, but you know, Jim Brown is probably like, is he 100 years old? I mean, he might literally be 100. I'm not even going to do the 289 years old jokes I'll be doing about Joe Biden. Joe Biden is 277 years old. We know that. But Jim Brown, I don't know, he might be 105 or something. So they pulled him out. Once again, the NFL, which is the biggest plantation, the NFL and the NBA are big ass sports plantation with $100 million slaves. We all know that. So they brought out Jim Brown and he was talking that, you know, whatever shit. But at the end of the day, no offense to Jim Brown, but Jim Brown, I don't hear you out here talking nothing about these brothers and sisters who are being knocked off by race soldiers every day. So the very fact that you got out of your wheelchair and you wanted to address this situation, which is throwing an innocent brother under the bus, but you don't talk about these race soldiers who are out here harming black folks, I don't respect that. And I wouldn't respect that if you was 20 years old. I don't respect that if you was 70 years old. And I don't respect that if you 170 years old. And that goes for everybody. And I'm just keeping it real. And that's the way we got to do. If you're off code or you say something that does not belong in the middle of our society, that does not belong at our boss's table, you got to get called on the shit. And we're the ones to call it out. Yes, indeed. So with that said, look how they are and look how they approach things. Kanye West, they told him, we don't even want your money. They took Kanye West's money out the bank. Come on, will you ever seen in your life motherfucker say your money ain't good here? They told him your money ain't good here. Kyrie Irving tried to make a donation. They said your money ain't good here. Fuck no. So it lets you know it ain't about none of that. Don't let them tell you that. And anytime they bring you around, and if you're a black person and you speak the truth, and this has always been the reality, if you're a black person and you get punished, that means that you're right. If you're a black person and you get rewarded, that means that you're wrong. If you're off code, you'll get rewarded. If you're on code, you will not get rewarded. So all you got to do is sit back and examine and see the black folks that they trolley out, see the black folks they put money behind, see the black folks that they're always praising, and those are the black folks who are talking that bullshit. And then find the black folks that they're trying to outcast, they're trying to slander, they're trying to use propaganda against, and that's the black person who's speaking things for the betterment of the community. That's all you need to do. If you sit back and you observe that and you watch that, you will find exactly the way things are going. Look at Shaq and Charles Barkley. Like I said, you notice they were out here suggesting all types of punishments. That's what they were doing. They were saying, well, I think he should get punished and they should do this and do this. They weren't just saying what they felt Kyrie did was wrong. They were out there literally leading the charge of punishment. They ain't never led the charge of punishment for no one else. Like I said, when it came to Breonna Taylor, they were actually trying to get the race soldiers who harmed her off the hook. They were trying to take those people's punishment away. But they sit there and they promote and suggest punishment for Kyrie Irving. So let's get this right. The race soldier who harmed Breonna Taylor, they were trying to tell the world how those folks did not need to be punished, but Kyrie Irving for posting a link. And they were at the forefront trying to push this forward. And you know the thing with Dave Chappelle, they've been trying to get him for what, 20 years? 20 years. I mean, they've been trying to get Dave Chappelle since he went to Africa. He left his show years ago because he's seen the bullshit and he stood on his principles. Look at everything they've thrown at him. I'm not surprised that they're trying to slide him into this situation. You feel me? They already tried to get him before with the other community when they was running up on him on stage, all that type of shit. They've been trying to get Dave Chappelle. It just shows you that when you are certified, when you are black and independent, when you represent what you feel, when you stand on your morals and your principles, this is what happens. You're going to get attacked. It's what it is. It comes with the territory. Look what all of us have to deal with just for representing our lineage. If you say foundational black American, before you get the whole fucking statement out, somebody got some hate for you. It comes with the territory. That's why I say we don't hate nobody. We ain't worried about nobody. We are the most hated on people on the planet. Motherfuckers hate us just for being us. But guess what? We used to it. They done fucked around and hated us so much that we done got so independent and we do our own thing. And that's what makes us stronger. That's exactly what makes us stronger. So we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to represent it, and we get stronger each and every motherfucking day. Every day. And I love what Dave Chappelle did, by the way. A lot of things he did. But let me say this. This one thing he did this summer when they was trying to come at him hard. And Dave Chappelle said, yeah, I'll meet with y'all. But let me say this now. I ain't being summoned nowhere. I'm not being called to the principal's office. You see how he put that out there? He said, I'll meet with you and talk to you. Same way Kyrie Irving said, I'll give you some money. I'll donate to you. You know what I'm saying? This is real solid shit. This is being a stand-up guy. He said, I'll meet with you, but you ain't summoning me nowhere. You're not calling me in, because he understands that they're going to try to make everything you do that's a good deed look like they're breaking you. You feel me? That's exactly what the fuck they were trying to do. If you say, okay, I'll meet with you to have a discussion, that's how you say it. That's how you feel. But they're going to say, see how I called him down to the office? See how he tucked his tail and came here? Y'all remember when Nick Cannon had that little interview and they got mad at Nick Cannon and they literally put out a picture when Nick Cannon is sitting down in a seat and he had a guy from another community standing over him like he's his little punk, looking down on him like a fucking child. And Nick Cannon allowed that shit to come out. And after that, Nick Cannon tucked his conscious chain and all of a sudden he getting every goddamn woman pregnant he look at. Nick Cannon tried to play conscious. He tried to play woke for a fucking week, for about 2 weeks. They G-checked his ass and he ain't been the same since. That's why if you gonna get on this game, you gotta be about that life. If you ain't about that life, don't walk through that goddamn door. Nick Cannon tucked his motherfucking conscious chain and went and cried in the car because his grandmama gave him that chain. Hey, and the dominant society took that motherfucker back. I'd have never let no shit. First off, you ain't standing over me in the first motherfucking place. Second off, you ain't never gonna put out no photo op that make it look like you reducing me to a kid. Nah, that ain't warrior class. That ain't strong. That ain't what it's about. It's about representing yours. If you can't stand next to me eye to eye, talk to me man to man, mano a mano, then we ain't having no fucking conversation. But that's what they do. They'll make you think that you're doing something honest, but they'll spin it and twist it in a turn to make it look like they breaking you. Dave Chappelle was very aware that that's what they were going to do if he decided to meet them, so he threw out the perimeters before it happened. And he said, I'll meet with you, but it ain't no summon. You feel me? And that's exactly how you gotta play it, if you wanna do it at all. Because as far as I look at it, foundational black Americans built this country. Foundational black Americans built every culture and heritage that everybody duplicates and mimics. Foundational black Americans are the strongest, most persevering people on the planet Earth. Therefore, foundational black Americans can do whatever the fuck we wanna do. That is my principle. That's what I stand on. I stand on foundational black Americans being exceptional, foundational black Americans having a resume that nobody can touch, and foundational black Americans being the most honest, sincere, pure people out here. Therefore, we can say whatever the fuck we feel like. There's no reason for us to come out here and worry about other people's feelings, because don't nobody worry about ours. It ain't no reason for us to come out here and placate anybody, because don't nobody placate us. It ain't no reason for us to come out here and go the extra mile for anybody else, because don't nobody go an extra inch for us. You feel me? If you feel me, let me see a black power fist. That part. So the way I look at it, the way I view it, the same way we put it down, is that we get stronger every day. We are unbreakable and untouchable. And I love being a foundational black American. And I love being a certified American freeman. And we don't change that or compromise that for nobody. Every day, all day. And we gotta also keep this in mind. All these other groups that are sitting there waiting on the side, trying to get all of our tangibles, they love when this type of shit goes on, because then they can jump in on it. Matter of fact, look at Fat Joe. Who was throwing Bill Cosby under the bus? The same Fat Joe who said that they co-created hip hop. The same Fat Joe who's running around trying to take our ancestors' accomplishments and give them to his ancestors, even though his ancestors weren't even here. But that's another story. He said something bad about Bill Cosby. Listen.
Why you always want to lie to each other and act like this shit ain't real? This shit is real. The problem I have is that when you get 50 young ladies, white, black, Chinese, Spanish, Filipino, rich, poor, to all, they don't know each other, and they all say the same story? That's where you get me fucked up at. That's where you get me like, and so I can't be cheering on, yo, and I'm always for the underdog. I don't want to say the bad guy, but 9 times out of 10, I'm for the bad guy. You talk about a guy who came from bad people. So I'm always cheering on somebody, but I can't be up in here lying to y'all like, I never wished that on him. I don't want him to go to jail. I didn't want none of that to happen to him. But Bill did something to them 50 girls. Maybe 20 are lying. There's 30 that ain't lying. But you people want to keep lying. I don't know what it is. Is it like, all right, black and Spanish, whenever anything goes wrong, even though we know these guys are foul as shit, we're going to still be like, power to the people?
You see what I'm talking about? When it comes to hibbity bebop, Fat Joe acts like he's down with the cause. This is the same guy who tells everybody he gonna continue to say the N-word because he's from the hood. But when it comes to anything that has anything to do with black empowerment, all of a sudden he's absent. So he'll come out and say these things about black folks. He'll sit there and side with the dominant society, but then he'll turn around and talk about how he's one of us. You ain't one of us, partner. You ain't one of us. And unfortunately for him, 10, 20 years ago, he can get away with that shit. Now we letting him know that he ain't one of us. We letting him know he can see the motherfucking dough. And we letting him know that he ain't welcome in our space. Fat Joe needs to just worry about all the crime that's going on in his community. Because if he spent time talking about the crime going on in his community, he'd be there for weeks because they do all types of shit. And y'all know, speaking of that, you talk about dirt, you talk about filth, you know it wouldn't be dirt and filth without talking about Al Sharpton. And I'm not just talking about his dirty ass perm. You see how he came out and he started saying the same thing about Kanye, and he started saying the same thing about Kyrie. And the first thing he did was he tried to spin it on black folks, and we need to just worry about that we don't do the same thing to them. If you talk about a prepaid buck and you want to see a picture of it, it would be Al Sharpton, all right? You talk about bringing down other black folks. He been doing that shit since the 1970s. Telling, snitching, tattletelling, pointing the finger, all types of things. You want to talk about defeated. You want to talk about coons. You want to talk about Sambos, butter biscuit chasing, tap dancing motherfuckers. That's exactly who you talking about. Listen.
You see Kyrie Irving kind of, being reprimanded. People are calling it a lashing. What are your thoughts on this? It's kind of an ongoing
I think that we need to really be careful that those of us that have fought racism in the black community, that we cannot in any way, even inadvertently, normalize being bigots against others. And I think that, I've not said anything other than we've got to be consistent. And if people say things wrong, they need to be held to the same account that we hold when people say things wrong about us. And as far as, some of them getting angry that some of us are saying we shouldn't say that, they have to get angry. We fight against bigotry of all forms, and bigotry cannot be normalized, and victims cannot say that they're gonna victimize others.
Nah, ain't gonna be we just gonna get angry. Nah, motherfucker, you just gonna tap dance. That's what it is. But he lame and everybody know it, and don't nobody focus on him. So we gonna do what we've always done to Al Sharpton. We gonna step right over him because he spends his time on his knees, if you know what I'm talking about. And as far as I'm concerned, it go like this. It is certified black society, foundational black Americans, and B1s, and fuck everybody who got a problem with it. That's what it is, that's how it's going, and that's how we pushing the line. So the way it's going down is just like this. And it's just like Brother Lewis Minister Farrakhan said. We about ours, and anything that anybody's got to say about that, it ain't enough. We want it all. That's the way we do things. Goddamn, I love living nowadays. I'm telling you, if there was ever a time to be alive, it's right now. Foundational black American business is in full motherfucking swing. We do what the fuck we want to do, and we handle our business the way we choose to handle our business. Not nobody else. Not what they tell us, not what they suggest, not what they feel we should do. We do whatever the fuck we want to do, and they got to get the fuck out the way. And they cannot stand that when foundational black Americans is stomping, they got to move to the other side of the street. Because as long as we walking down the street, they can't step out the house. Dig it. Look at LeBron James. LeBron James, he run around all day long acting like he was Malcolm X, reading a Malcolm X book backwards. You feel me? Doing these little things here or there. But when it come down to crunch time, what'd he do? He went out of his way and say, Kyrie Irving, he said some things and hurt some people. First off, Kyrie didn't say anything. But he says, man, Kyrie did this. Why the fuck did he have to say that? Now, mind you, when it came to Tamir Rice and people said, can you speak about Tamir Rice? He said, I can't say nothing because I don't know nothing.
The Cleveland Cavaliers star insists he's still not knowledgeable enough on the Rice situation, which began last November, to make a detailed statement. James said after the Cavaliers beat the Denver Nuggets, "For me, I've always been a guy who's took pride in knowledge of every situation that I've ever spoke on. And to be honest, I haven't really been on top of this issue, so it's hard for me to comment."
He pled silence when it came to Tamir Rice. And that was happening in Cleveland, right down the street from where he was playing basketball. He knew how to plead silence when it came to Tamir Rice. But when it comes to Kyrie Irving, he don't know how to plead silence. None of these motherfuckers have to say anything. They're saying things because they choose to. This is why we call them prepaid bucks. They don't mind playing little games. They don't mind talking about little racism here, little racism there, because basically that's some Democrat shit. Now, mind you, this is the same LeBron James who was a Hillary Clinton supporter. So I understand when he talks about Black Lives Matter and he talks about these little fucking incidents here, there. He don't mind that shit because that still plays into the liberal fake ally-ness. But once you start talking about real issues, once you start talking about the meat and potatoes of the situation, then all of a sudden he knows how to hit the motherfucking brakes. He don't mind pulling out a Malcolm X book. He don't mind talking about Black Lives Matter. But once you start talking about the Tamir Rices of the world, when you start talking about punishing race soldiers, then all of a sudden it's nope. When you start talking about Kyrie Irving, then it's nope. So he came out and he spoke then. Tamir Rice, he was silent. Kyrie Irving, he was loud.
I can tell you this, it's simple. Me personally, I don't condone any hate to any kind, to any race. You guys know where I stand. And it's part of the reason why I didn't air the Shop episode, why we kicked that, out of the archives, because it was hate conversation going on there. And I don't represent that. There's no place in this world for it. Nobody can benefit from that. And I believe, what Kyrie did caused some harm to a lot of people. And he has since, over the last, I think, today, or was it yesterday, he apologized. But he caused some harm. And and I think it's unfortunate, but I don't stand on the position to harm people when it comes to your voice or your platform or anything. And so it doesn't matter what color your skin is, how tall you are, what position you are in. If you are promoting or soliciting or saying harmful things to any community that harm people, then I don't respect it. I don't condone it. Consider it.
Man, you see how deep he went into that? He went into a lengthy, detailed conversation, statement, wordplay, letting it be known. Not me. Couldn't be me. Nope. I'm over there, not here, over there. Everything he did was, it's not me, y'all. It's not me. I'm different. That was a whole I'm different speech. And you see when it came to Tamir Rice, nothing. He said, I wasn't informed enough on it. But when it came to Kyrie, the motherfucker was detailed as hell. And this is what we talk about. Celebrities ain't shit. Celebrities ain't nothing. Malcolm X been calling out celebrities a long time ago. These celebrities are nothing but prepaid bucks, $1 million bucks, and they will never stand by the black community. They don't even stand by other celebrities who stand up. Every so often you get 1 or 2 celebrities that talk some sense, and then all the other coons are going to team up against them. And that's exactly what you're seeing in this situation. That's why we say celebrities ain't leaders, but I'll take it even a step further. And I'll tell you 99.9% of these celebrities ain't shit. You see the motherfucking difference? This is what we talking about. Now, mind you, all of these guys that have thrown him under the bus, they all got some real skeptical fucking pictures. All these dudes done put some wigs on. All these men done put on dresses. Everything that we know goes on in the buck-breaking world, they've all put on the buck-breaking uniforms. Yes, we know what the damn buck-breaking uniform is. We know the same reason why Dave Chappelle said, I ain't doing that. You feel me? Dave Chappelle said, I'm not 20 years ago. Dave Chappelle said, I ain't putting that on, I'm leaving. These motherfuckers done all put it on. So are y'all surprised at the motherfuckers who done dressed like that and put on the buck-breaking uniform? Are y'all surprised these are the same motherfuckers who was talking about Kyrie Irving? No, I'm not surprised. They all made that decision to do so. Because that's where they're aligned. They ain't aligned with that real pro-black shit. They'll talk that shit all day long. LeBron James will say that shit and he'll skip, hop, and jump. But when it gets to the point, stop. He won't go no further. And I fuck with LeBron. Listen, I'm cool with LeBron. The little things he's done, like the schools and some of the things he spoke on, I'm not mad at that. But at the same motherfucking time, don't play the game unless you bout the game. And if you ain't bout the game, you need to sit your ass down. This is not a game for part-timers. This is not a game for part-timers. If you want to be silent on the Tamir Rice situation, then you need to be silent on the Kyrie Irving situation. It's 2 fucking words you could have said, and it's called no comment. That's it. So the very fact that you said no comment when it came to Tamir Rice, who was unjustly harmed, but yet you had all this shit to say about Kyrie Irving, who's being unjustly attacked, that lets me know, bro, that sitting your ass down is the best option for you. Because we don't need no small time, we need the real time. And by the way, ain't this the same LeBron who about 2 years ago said we scared? You feel me? Once again, the butt-breaking costume, being silent on Tamir Rice, talking about Kyrie Irving, and then this guy 6'9", 260, and he was on TV saying, we scared of black folks now. We just scared out here in these streets.
It's just quite frankly, it's just in our community. And us, I know people get tired of hearing me say it, but we are scared as black people in America. Black men, black women, black kids, we are terrified.
Then that tie into me talking about all you see on TV is brothers crying? Yes, we don't need that type of energy. We don't need counterfeit energy. We don't need beta male energy. We need certified energy. And I'm to the point, I'm sure y'all all to the point, if it ain't about certified energy, keep your mouth closed. Hands down. That's the bullshit these motherfuckers be on. That's the bullshit these motherfuckers be on, and we know exactly what it is. So, that's what they're going to do, and we got to always look. I'm going to make this prediction now. There will be another brother or sister that they try to reel in this shit, and also, in a few years, Dave Chappelle and Kyrie Irving, there are going to be a situation. I'm telling you, cameras is rolling. We calling this shit right now, Certified Black Society stamp. We put our stamp on this. There will be something on Kyrie Irving and Dave Chappelle that has nothing to do with this situation that they will pin on these brothers within the next 6 months to a year. The more these brothers do not play ball, The more that we hold them down, the more that we provide that line of protection, that first line of defense for them, and they realize all the buck breaking and the prepaid bucks are not in effect, they will find something else. They're going to search for something else that they can find to pin on these brothers. Sit back and watch that shit happen. They gonna make something up. They gonna go into that bag. They will come up with anything until they get something to stick. Mind you, brothers and sisters, Bill Cosby, they wanted to get him for years. Threw everything at him, nothing stuck, and then they just made some shit up. Michael Jackson did the same thing. Threw everything at him, nothing stuck. Prince, everything at him, it didn't stick. Soon as they get something that'll stick, they will find that motherfucker, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna say that right now. They're gonna find something on our brothers. If our brothers do not play the game, if our brothers continue to just do what they do and say, nah, we're gonna stick to our principles and stand on our morals, they will find something on these brothers that has nothing to do with what we're talking about now. We'll be talking about it when it happens. But right now, no one's even thinking about it, but we're calling it out ahead of time. Remember, the ability to project and the ability to forecast things, that's what keeps everything real and solid. And this is what we have to do. We got to see the forest through the trees. I always say that right here on the Black Alpha Network. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Bang that like button. I appreciate the love. We always say right here on the Black Alpha Network, it ain't just about seeing the shit that's in front of you. You got to see the shit that's behind you, and you got to see the shit that's around the corner. If you can see all of that, then you can move properly. It's all about being thorough. We are very thorough, so therefore we see these things. But no matter what they try to pin on our brothers, no matter what they try to pin on our sisters, no matter what they try to come up with in the future so they can slander them, understand this for sure, is that certified black society and the black grassroots will be right there protecting our own and holding our own down. Because remember, if they can bring down one black person individually, then they can bring us all down collectively. But if we all stand together collectively, then we can protect everybody individually. That's the real, and that's Black Alpha Network. Big facts. Yes, indeed, family. Y'all know what time it is. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the love. As I said, man, my favorite times on this planet are sitting back, chopping it up with the family. I hope everybody's doing good as always, but I know you already are. When I say I hope the family's doing good, that's just out of my heart. But in reality, I know we thorough. I know we take care of business. And I know we handle what's ours. So I send everybody that certified salute, and I'm going to keep on sending them certified salutes because it don't stop. But I know everybody's doing good, and it's always love from the Black Alpha Network. Y'all make sure you subscribe to the channel. We coming. We bringing it, and I'm talking about we as in all of us. As I say, we don't have subscribers. We don't have followers. We got family. Everything I do and everywhere I'm at is all about family. When we went to the Reparations rally, I'm telling y'all, that was one of the best days I've ever experienced. I love meeting every single person. I got a little story for y'all, as a matter of fact. Right after the rally was over, me and Queen Alpha, we walked to the White House. And we met a couple brothers that were out there, and we had some conversations with them, and it was so much love. I ended up getting a chance to meet a brother who said he's been homeless for 20 years. This is a foundational black American brother. He was from California, but he was living now in DC. And he said he was homeless for 20 years. He sat down and he talked to me and Queen Alpha, and he was dropping real jewels, real diamonds. And he spoke about what it's like, what he's dealing with. He was with his daughter. And he said he just got his first apartment in 20 years. And it was great to sit down and talk to the family. What I realized is that no matter where we are, no matter what region we're from, we all share the same experience. We all are from the same family tree, and we got to make sure this family tree is protected. And how do we protect the family tree? We protect it by protecting each other, and not just with words, not just with thoughts, and not just with strategy, but with action. So I learned so much just being around the family. Y'all know what it is. Whenever we're together, we do things that are impossible to everybody else, but it's just a regular day for us. So I salute all my brothers and sisters that I met there. And like I said, the love was so strong, and I'm going to always remember the words of encouragement. I'm going to remember everybody that came up to me and wanted to take a picture. Everybody that was happy to see me. I was just as happy to see y'all. Me and the Queen had a great time. But like I said, after the event, I didn't leave that day. I didn't leave. I left the next day, and I had a lot of opportunities to go out and meet up with all the brothers and sisters that were, going to hang out and chill for a while. But after I went to the White House and I seen so many homeless foundational black Americans, it hit me hard. So I spent the next day, me and Queen Alpha, feeding a lot of the homeless people that we met. I was giving them money, what I had. I bought pizza for them. I gave them muffins. Whatever I had that was on me or anything that I could attain, I was giving it to them, because I could not leave DC seeing the condition of my people, because it's the same condition of my people that I see everywhere I travel. And I've been to the East Coast and the West Coast, and I see the same exact thing. When you see the White House and you understand inside that White House, they're giving away trillions of dollars to non-FBAs. And then you walk 2 blocks up and you see tents of homeless people that is predominantly made up of foundations foundational black Americans, that does not sit well with me. That hits completely different. So I could not leave knowing that all these non-FBAs are receiving tangibles while my people built that White House, while all these non-FBAs are receiving money and protections while my people built this country. That ain't right. So I spent the whole day Sunday before I got on the road and traveled 9 hours back home. Me and Queen Alpha spent the day giving money, giving food to everybody that we could. And it was one of the best things I could ever do. So the weekend was strong. The weekend started off with us taking a ride on the way from Georgia all the way up to DC and South Carolina. I literally, and I swear to God, family, I seen a cotton field in South Carolina with a rainbow over it. And this is on my way to the Reparations rally. So I knew it was all time. I knew it was all time. I told that to Brother Tariq when I spoke to him, and when I met Brother Tariq, it was a lot of love. And I say this to everybody out there. We got to continue to take this love that we have. We got to continue to take this energy, this passion that we got, and we have to make a change. And we got to make the change for us because we're going to build a better future. And it's already in process. This isn't something that we got to formulate. We in this era right now are going to be the most important era. I stand by that because I'm watching it happen. All of us are making history, and we're making history side by side, step for step, lock and key. So I send a Black Alpha Network salute to all of you. I send a Black Alpha Network salute to everybody I met in person and everybody that was there in spirit. And I send a foundational Black American salute to all my brothers and sisters out there on the grind, making it happen on a day-to-day basis. Let's get it, let's make it happen, and let's keep it moving. And as I always say right here on the Black Alpha Network, it's all about peace, power, and delivery, and we're going to continue to deliver. So with that said, I want to say one love to everybody, and y'all always remember that black is beautiful, and beautiful is always black.